What's going on, everyone? It's Tuesday, September 27th, 2022, and this is episode 14 of Punch the Air. I'm your host, Kyle Brophy. Luke Buzzsaw Bezney to my left. Cole T-Bone Lockley to my right. And we're back at it with another recap of NFL weekend. All right, we're going to kick things off with the recap of Week 3. We got a coaching hot seat, a fantasy would you rather, Week 3 betting, and a daily fantasy for this weekend.
Y'all better listen now. We making y'all some money.
Wait. Oh, never mind.
Okay, all right, let's start things off with the Thursday night game, Steelers at Browns. Browns won 29-17. They cover. The Browns looked like they were in control. Well, most in the second half, they started pulling away, and it kind of stayed that way. What do y'all take away from that one?
When is Pickett going to be starting?
It's Pickett time.
I think Steelers side of the things, that's the biggest takeaway is like Trubisky
no
just can't do it. I don't really understand the offense either. Like there were multiple – I mean, I guess get him some confidence, let him throw it deep, but like we've known that he's not a guy that could chuck it deep.
At least he tried.
He tried.
Like at least he did push the ball a little bit. It didn't work. I mean, Deontay dropped that one for that could have been a touchdown. It went right through his hands, but yeah.
Well, Tomlin said there's not going to be a quarterback change anytime. Well, I don't know if it's anytime soon, but he said there's not going to be one right now.
I think he just has to say that, though, at the press.
Probably, but like,
Mitch is his guy right now, but
I mean, you got to feel like, how much longer do you think Trubisky's actually going to start for?
Who do they play this week? They
play the Jets this week.
If they lose to the Jets, then Pickett's.
Well, I mean, even if they win like 12-9, like.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel like if
I'm a Steeler fan, I want Pickett in now.
I mean, you've been wanting him in since the preseason. It's
Yeah.
like ever since he stepped foot on the field in preseason, it's like, okay, guy's good, he can play. Let's get him going. Like,
well, it's like when the Browns are up in that game by like 7 points, last like 5 or 6 minutes, and you knew Trubisky had to throw. Like you pretty much won. They knew they won the game. Like it was just watch Trubisky throw, and you're forcing him to, especially. It's just not pretty to watch.
Brisket looked good too. I'm not.
Brissett looked good.
Like he made some great throws. Like he threw some bullets.
He threw that bullet that hit Amari in the chest.
Yeah,
he threw a fucking
bounced off of like his helmet.
It was like a $95 fastball.
Yeah.
Like, holy Christ! I didn't know Brissett had that in him.
Is Amari Cooper a locked-in wide receiver 2 in PPR fantasy formats?
Wide receiver 2
or 1?
I think you made a case for 1.
Or you think the volume's been there?
The volume's there. The
there.
offense is good enough.
I'm gonna say high end 2 for now.
I'd still say high end 2.
High end 2.
The receivers are so good, but I mean, like the offense is good enough for there to be enough scoring opportunities. He's gonna catch the ball 7 times a game. You know, so he's gonna have 80 yards, 7 catches, like floor-ish around that number. So it's like, I mean, your floor is at 12 points minimum, and you're capped at 30. It's about wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
I mean, like low end wide receiver 1.
Love that.
I mean, unless Njoku's role keeps getting even better.
Yeah, he had a career night.
He had a great game.
Yeah,
especially for fucking his
2-man show.
Yeah, I mean, what? So do y'all think Najee? In my mind, at least, I think Najee right now is probably an RB2 with Mitch in there, just because he doesn't dump it off. And I mean, I feel like there's no.
He still caught like 4 passes, I think.
3, maybe. He had like 11 points after that fumble.
The problem is just their offensive line's just so he's getting hit before he gets to the line of scrimmage half the time.
Is there any world where Najee can bump back to where he was last year as like a top 5, top 6 RB?
I think he finishes there.
Or was that just because Ben just loved to dump it off because he had a noodle arm?
Ben did love to dump it off.
I think
that's where he got so many of his
I think
points.
Najee will finish top 5 again. I just think sheer volume and with like the running backs with the like state of what they are right now. I mean, they all suck. Like, I mean, Kamara's been awful. McCaffrey's like not even McCaffrey anymore. Like Alvin is not catching passes. Like it's not the only running back is like Mixon had a down week. Eckler's not even getting the ball on the ground.
McCaffrey. I think Baker Mayfield just ruins fantasy players' value. I mean, even in Cleveland, like we saw Odell Beckham, he was never even that fantasy relevant his whole career in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield.
He was before the season. And then you got like 3 weeks in, you're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah. Does Baker just not know how to like feed a feature receiver?
I don't know.
I mean, DJ Moore's just gone off the face of the earth.
He's like cuttable at this point.
He's terrible.
And we know the talent's there for DJ Moore. He just doesn't throw him the ball.
I mean, DJ Moore was great last year with Sam Darnold.
How many
You can't tell me he's not
targets
better than fucking Robbie Anderson and Laviska Shenault. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, he's just not good for fantasy.
No, but I mean, like I think because Najee's gonna stay healthy. I mean, barring some.
Well, he's
weird
had that
injury,
Liz
but,
Frank thing with his foot. Like that's kind of
He looked good last week.
He
looked
good.
He's not ever had
that
real
one
injury
block he had.
problems. Yeah.
He fucking went WWE mode on that guy, dude.
Yeah.
That was a fucking crazy ass block.
Yeah, and it's like what we were talking about before the season with Najee. It's like, yes, the offense isn't going to be as good. Yes, the O-line sucks, but the volume is going to be there week in, week out that he's playing. He's getting the ball 20 times.
I don't think it really gets better until Pickett starts and they have some sort of a force to throw it. And I think
it'll get better.
Well, I think
even
Pickett's going to be more likely to also dump it off to Najee more so than Trubisky is too.
I bet he bounces back this week in a big time.
Because that's really what made Najee so valuable last year was
all
the dump offs Big Ben had.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, and DJ Moore, he's gotten 6 targets in every game. So, I mean, not like crazy, but not like, crazy low. But one last
He should
game,
be getting 8 to 10.
one
That's
catch
pretty
for 6 yards, 3 for 6, 3 for 6. For him, it's definitely low.
Yeah.
He should be getting like 10 targets a game.
No doubt.
All right. Well, I'll move on to the next one. Got anything else?
I mean, it's kind of, these teams aren't very.
Yeah, they're not really a lot to talk
it's
about.
Brisket versus Trubisky.
Yeah.
All right. Chiefs at Colts. Colts win 2017. Colts cover the 5.5. The Chiefs,
wise guy play right there, baby.
Oh yeah, the fucking
sharp play.
I mean, it seemed like the Chiefs just that Chris Jones on Sportsmanlike, where who knows what he said to Matt Ryan, but that was pretty stupid. I mean, what could he have actually said? But either way, the Chiefs definitely should have won that game. The Colts ended up somehow taking it from them and getting their first win of the season.
Yeah. I mean, they lost on special teams. They had the muff punt, missed PAT.
Yeah.
Fake field goal, missed a 34-yarder. Like, if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm not really worried. Like, games like this happen all the time.
The Colts were desperate at home, 0-2, had to win, or 0-1.
I mean, that fake field goal was like, I don't understand why they did that. Like, I mean, at a certain point, it's like,
what was it? 4th and
I don't know, but you still have it was like 4th and 6.
Were they winning at that time?
Yeah, they were up.
Yeah, you think with Patty Mahomes as your quarterback,
just go for it with Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, just go
either
for
just
it.
kick the field goal, get the 3, or go for it with Mahomes.
Like, don't get too
He's
cute
the best
with it.
quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And you have Andy
If you have
Reid.
Mitch Trubisky as your quarterback, I understand a fake field goal.
Yeah.
But with Mahomes back there, let him do his thing. Let him sling it, get the first down, or kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Now, what did y'all think about that little feud that Bieniemy and Mahomes had at the half? Think that's gonna lead to anything?
I mean,
what was it exactly?
Well, they basically.
I think Mahomes wasn't he bitching about them not going for trying to get points before the half or something?
Which I thought they should have. They had like 15 seconds and they didn't snap the ball. I guess Bieniemy was telling them no, let's just go into the half, and Mahomes was pissed off about that. And eventually Andy Reid came.
Did you see what Shady said on Twitter?
What did he say?
He said something along the
lines.
lines.
Doesn't Shady hate Bieniemy?
He hates him, and he's like Bieniemy knows nothing. Like this happens with all his players at Bieniemy. He knows nothing about passing and nothing about calling plays. That was like a tweet he actually sent out.
Maybe that's why he hasn't gotten hired as a head coach yet.
Yeah, probably.
There's probably need to know those two things if you want to be a.
And there's definitely a reason for that. I mean, he's been brought in by how many teams now for head coaching jobs? It seems like, and he just hasn't gotten hired.
Well, and the other thing, he doesn't call plays. So what is he really even doing? Like you have Andy Reid over you calling plays and creating most of the game plan, and then giving it to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, it seems like
what are you really doing?
It seems
really
like
just a body out there.
Yeah, literally.
It seems like so many other Andy Reid disciples have got head coaching jobs just for working under him, and for some reason he hasn't.
There's got to be
something. He's been there forever. Too.
It has to be a personality or a character thing, in my opinion, because if he the fact that he has learned and absorbed all this knowledge under Andy Reid. If there wasn't something wrong with his personality or character, he'd be hired as a head coach by now.
Absolutely. Well, that's all about the interview too. It's like Mike McCarthy, he crushed his interview and slept over with Jerry Jones.
Exactly.
Got
pizza
the job.
party.
He had a pillow fight.
Oh, that's right. Drank some whiskey. Talked about the glory days. Had a great time.
Oh yeah. Smashing watermelons, the whole 9.
Oh yeah.
Now with the Colts, do you think this sparks them into turning into what we thought they were, and that's a competitive team in the AFC, or are they just?
They could be. I think the scary thing is their defense played as well as it did without Shaq Leonard.
That's their defense has to be.
He's arguably the best linebacker in the league.
He makes their run game so much better.
Great.
Yeah.
He's
one of the best non pass rushing linebackers. He might be the best non-pass rushing linebacker in the league. So
they just need Shaq. All right. Bills at Dolphins. Dolphins win 21-19.
How about the fish?
How about them? Dolphins cover the 5.5. The Bills ran 90 plays to the Dolphins 39. That's just fun stat. But
that game was just weird.
Yeah.
Like, if you looked at just the box score and the stats,
you would think the Bills killed
Buffalo
them.
blew them out by 30.
Yeah.
Like, that game was just weird.
That game literally made no sense whatsoever. My take on that, though, is like on the Bills side of things. Like, I know Josh Allen's great. I'm not trying to deny that or say he's not great. But I think they're getting way too reliant on just strictly using Josh Allen's ability.
No doubt.
I mean, they had 20.
They can't run the ball.
They averaged 5 yards a carry last game, and yes, Allen was like a third of that. But whenever they do run the ball, like the box isn't stacked, like it can be effective.
Yeah.
Like I just think they're yes, use your best player, but help him out too. Like you don't need to put the whole entire plate on his shoulders.
It's not like basketball.
No, he's not LeBron. It's football. It's a team sport.
Right.
Mix it around.
I think I saw that their last 10 games decided by double digits. They're 10-0 in their last single-digit games. They're like 0-6 or something like that.
They're 0-7 in like the last one-score games. They can't close.
Yeah, well, it's just
that's very concerning.
Well, it's weird that they're just like in the close games, they just can't do anything. Like they can't win those games.
That was also such a weird game too with the Heat. All those guys got cramps. I think they had like 3 linemen out. Stephon Diggs was out for a period of time. Yeah. I mean, how hot was it in Miami?
I mean, it was especially on the field. You got to be at least 90 plus.
Jeez.
Oh, at least
especially on the
probably
field.
Felt like 100.
Yeah,
with the humidity and everything.
Yeah.
No, Miami. That's always a hard place to play at the beginning of the season because it's so hot. It's so humid.
Like everyone
that's
going to Florida,
exhausted. Yeah.
It's like everyone that's going to Florida is having trouble.
So let me ask you all this: are the Bills the class of the AFC now after beating the top dog in the Bills?
You mean the Dolphins?
Or the Dolphins.
No.
I
think that game showed the Bills are better.
They shouldn't have won that game.
The Bills are a better team. Like, it was just a weird game on the road.
They're 3-0 though.
They're
3-0.
They're definitely more of a threat than we thought they were. But like, are they top 3 in the AFC? I mean, you're asking if they're like the best in the AFC, or
I'm saying, are they a legitimate contender?
I don't think this
year. Are they a team that we could actually view come playoff time that this team has a legitimate chance to take home the Lombardi Trophy?
I don't, not yet.
And I think the sports books and people like lines makers are on that side too. I mean, look at this week. They're +4 going to Cincinnati.
I think a bigger reason that though is I think their defense is going to be has to be so tired.
I agree, but you just beat
just
beat the Patriots, Ravens, and Bills, and you're +4 on the road. Like,
yeah,
no, that line should be
I'm personally
much closer
taking
to even.
Cincy.
I am too.
But where would y'all put them in the pecking order of the AFC right now?
The Bills ahead of them.
Chiefs.
Ravens. I think that Ravens game too. Like, I mean, the secondary just collapsed.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar was better. I think the Ravens are a better team if they play again.
Yeah,
I think the Ravens
put the Ravens
beat
above
them.
them. But I think they're 4th. I think they're solidly in 4th. I mean, who else would they be? Would there be?
The Bengals.
The Bengals.
I mean, the Chargers to a degree. If
Chargers ain't.
I mean, we don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, but
I think they're in a 4th.
4th.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're going to be a playoff team for sure. They're going to be a team that's like going to be dangerous in the playoffs, but it's going to be like, would you rather play them or the Chiefs in the playoffs? Would you rather play them or like Lamar in the playoffs?
Much rather play them.
Right.
Yeah.
Even the Bengals, like I'd rather play them than the Bengals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'd probably rather play them than Denver in the playoffs. By playoff time, I assume Denver's going to have somewhat figured out.
Yeah.
And like Tua's been great. I still trust Russell Wilson.
So
more.
how good actually is Tua?
I think Tua's good.
Is he elite?
No. He's not elite.
I mean, not yet.
Can he carry these guys if they start slacking? Can he make up for deficiencies?
I don't know. I don't think so.
What is he, 11-1 in his last 12
yeah,
starts?
He's 11-1 in his last 12.
I mean,
yeah, but it's not like he's putting up like jaw-dropping stats or anything. Not that
well,
that means
he
you're
had a
getting
6
better.
touchdown game.
Yes, he had that
week
game,
two.
but I'm talking like before.
He
like,
wins.
He does win, but I don't think he'd be. If it's not for Waddle and Tyreek Hill, I don't think he's as good as we're saying he is now. I mean,
of course not.
Yeah,
but even last year though, he still won games without them.
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
but
he had Waddle, but
without Tyreek though. I mean, the defense is like. I think that's something that I personally slept on was their defense coming into the season because they did lose Brian Flores. But I mean, that defense still has
their
a ton
personnel
of
is great. Yeah,
I mean, Melvin Ingram's looking great. They have him. They have Wilkins. They have Ogba, who's a monster. Secondary, that Javon Holland guy's a monster.
Yeah, he's been great.
Xavier
they got
Howard, Byron Jones.
Howard and Jones.
Like, their defense is legit.
Yeah. That's what we were telling you all offseason. You're shitting on them.
I know.
They're still good.
I know. I did show them. I thought the Flores thing was going to be a bigger factor. But, I mean, the defense is proving to look good. I think Thursday night, though, they're going to
Mike McDaniel, too. I mean, like,
he
has, I mean,
he's looking
all
like
that creativity that was in San Francisco, that genius play calling, their play design, that is completely carried over.
Well, so they're not even running the ball well either.
No. And that's what we were worried about. It's because, like, Shanahan has to run the ball.
Yeah.
Like, McDaniel's going to run the ball. And he's been able to create, like, a similar offense, just using different patterns and techniques, using his best players to their best abilities, and it's a
scary thought to think if they could actually start like running the ball efficiently.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know if they're going to be able to. I don't know if they've got the offensive line for it. But I mean, you could because you're not going to be playing stacked boxes.
Yeah.
Your safety's got to be 20 yards.
I feel like it's going to get better throughout the year.
We really haven't seen them play like a shit run defense yet either.
No.
I think they got the Jets here in 2 weeks. That would be the game where they would just run wild if they were.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to get better throughout the season. I mean, you would think. Ugh. All right. Anything else? Really? Yeah, we're not concerned about the Bills, I'm assuming.
No, I still think Bills are the best team.
Would y'all rather own Raheem Mostert or Chase Edmonds fantasy-wise for Miami?
Edmonds.
Just
because he catches passes. And, I mean, he got 2 goal line carries, 2 touchdowns, which that's kind of weird. I think you'd think Mostert would be that guy, but I guess he's not, or maybe it was just weird, substitutions
kind of guy.
Yeah, but I just going forward, just because the pass catching. Yeah. I think you totally see next week Mostert getting the goal line carries. But week in, week out, early down's going to be split, but who's going to be in on third down too is Edmonds. So I'd go with him.
All right, next game. Bengals at Jets. Bengals win 27-12. Bengals cover the 5.5. Not really much to go over here. Kind of just what we expected.
Yeah, Bengals bounce back. Receiving core looks great. I mean, running game didn't do much. Jets still look
their
like
line
shit.
hold up pretty well.
I think he was still getting pressured, but he only had 2 sacks. So that's impressive.
He was able to step up in the pocket and get the ball. I think Tyler Boyd. Like, we know Tyler Boyd's good.
He's underrated.
But having that third option to where not every play is going to Chase or Higgins, and it's like, okay, they have a third receiver that can burn us. Like, this guy can give us 120 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game.
Yeah.
Like, he has that capability. I think having that third option, and I guess we didn't really know, I mean, he was great last year, but then again, he proved it's like, okay, we can't just lock down the outside. Boyd will still kill us in the middle. They have Mixon to run the ball. So they bounce back. Offense, looks great.
Yeah, all those receivers complement each other very well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I mean, Chase is just to do everything, more the faster guy. Higgins is he's tall and more of a red zone guy. He's a freak.
Fuck that. They took away his touchdown. That was ridiculous. Did you see that catch?
Yeah, that catch in the back corner of the end zone.
Incredible. And I don't know why I guess they called it incomplete.
And they stayed with it.
They challenged it and they upheld it, which, I mean, it looks blatantly like he gets his toes down.
Yeah, it looked like a touchdown.
It was incredible.
But yeah, I mean, are they back now, or do they need to win a couple more games here before we really start?
I think they're back. I'm not worried
for them,
about
though,
the
it's
Bengals.
like what I feel like it's kind of a weird, like, because it's like, are they back? It's like regular season Bengals were 10 and 7?
Yeah.
And then that, magical playoff run happened. So it's like, when we say, are they back to being a Super Bowl team, or are they back to being, a team that can make the playoffs and maybe make some noise? I'd say they're more back there versus like a top dog AFC team, which is like that's how I viewed them coming into the year, though. Was like,
you did?
Yeah, like a Chiefs and Bills, like a lower degree of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people still viewed probably the Bills and the Chiefs as the two.
Well, you viewed them as a team
favorites. They have a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
So I think they still. I think they're back to that. I mean, I'm also saying that expecting them to win on Thursday too. Obviously, if they lose, then
they're 1-3.
No, I want to. They need to win against the Dolphins tomorrow to
They're
really solidify that
week.
They're still a contender. But yeah, I mean,
I still think with all that talent in the offensive side of the ball, they can go into any game against any team, and it's like, we got a shot. We got a good chance to win.
They have a knockout punch that they could use.
Absolutely, yeah. And the Jets are still just
the
terrible.
Jets.
Hey, Flacco's leading the league in pass attempts through 3 weeks.
I saw he's 5th in pass yards.
Rough.
Hey,
that's so I think it's so fucking funny how his kid told him he literally sucks at football.
Hey.
Yeah.
Little dipshit 14-year-old son.
Hey, I don't think you can run your offense any more perfect than having Flacco throw it like 50 times a game.
Although, hey, if you're a Breece Hall owner,
yeah,
things are looking up for you in fantasy. Breece Hall's catching passes.
Took the snap share.
Looks like he's starting to get the snap share. It's looking good.
Is he that much better than Michael Carter?
Michael Carter's just. I mean,
Michael
I guess
Carter seems like more of a not J.D. McKissick. To the full extent.
I think he's a better runner than McKissick.
Yeah, I think he's a better runner, but I think like his value is more as a pass catcher than a real running back.
Yeah, I mean, he's still
but
got.
Breece Hall's catching tons of passes now too.
I mean, he's still got 12 touches, but I think it's with Hall. Hall's just he's more electric.
Definitely.
Like, I think that's just because fucking Carter's still a good player, and I think he's definitely a starting caliber running back on some teams, but I just think with Hall is he's more electric, and that's what you're looking for.
Well, I mean, coming out this year, I mean, he was the clear cut. Like, this is the best running back in the class. I mean, they've said, I mean, he was. I mean, I loved him in college. I mean, I thought he was awesome in college. Like, he's got breakaway speed, he's got size, he's got strength. Like, he's almost the full package at running back. So I think he's better than Carter, just as an all around back to do everything you need to do. So,
all right, yeah. Any more on the Jets, guys, or?
Hey, Zach Wilson's coming back.
Zach Wilson is coming back.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson looks great.
Garrett Wilson does look good. All right. Lions at Vikings. Vikings won 28-24. Lions cover 6.5. Yeah, the Lions just gave this one away.
Yeah.
As simple as that. So, but they are covering machines, and they always will be.
What's their record versus the spread in like the past 18
I
or
think it's now
games?
like 11 and
they're 3-0 through the first three, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they had.
They covered against the Eagles.
They're 3-0 right now.
I think they had they covered the spread 11 times last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year they were 11-6 against.
So they're 14-6
against.
God,
that's a good team to bet on.
They're just a covering machine. Well, they should have won that game too. I mean,
they had they've been going for it the entire game on fourth down, and then it's like fourth and whatever it was, and Campbell decided to kick the field goal instead with Seibert, who ended up missing it, who didn't look good kicking the ball the entire day. It's like, stick with what's been working and go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what do you have to fucking lose? Like, why go away from how you've been playing?
Yeah. It was a big game for the Vikings to pull out, too. I mean, you go into Monday night, you cream the Packers week 1, and you go into Monday night and get shelled by the Eagles, especially Packers picking up the win against Tampa. That was a big win for them to stay neck and neck in the division.
I mean,
and keep the confidence up, too.
Yeah.
That Monday night, that was supposed to be a really good game, a clash of two really good teams, and Philly just wiped the floor with them.
Yeah.
So they needed that game. I think that's a big confidence boost. And they did it without Justin Jefferson balling out, too, which I think is important for them, too, to know, like, this guy doesn't have to go nuts for us to win. Like, we can do it without him dropping,
and we haven't even seen the run game get going yet either.
No. It got going a little bit, though. What Dalvin have?
Dalvin actually had a solid
95,
game.
100 yards or something?
Yeah. Oh, did he
actually? He wasn't doing bad, but
I think he had 100 yards rushing.
Yeah. I mean, how far do you think the Vikings can actually go, though?
Divisional round.
Maybe a playoff win. It's still it just comes down to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think it's still the same old team. Like we saw him in primetime against Philly last week. He shut down.
Well, it's like
killed,
we were kind of like to a little degree hyping up like, can they actually win the North? And like after week 1,
I think they can win the North.
I feel like
totally do.
I feel like the Packers look like just a better team than them though. The Vikings still just don't look that great.
The Vikings definitely can win the North, but I mean I don't think that says much to translating to if you're actually going to make a run.
Yeah, I would totally. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, what the odds are right now, which I'm sure Vikings are still plus money, like probably plus 150 to 200 to win the North. I would still totally bet that. I don't think Green Bay is that good. Green Bay got shelled by Minnesota. They beat a shit Chicago team, and they beat the Bucs by 2 points with all their players out.
But I think with Green Bay, they're a team that we're not going to really see what Green Bay actually is till like week 11, week 12. Once Aaron Rodgers fully develops chemistry with Doubs and Watson, I still stand on this hill where I think come late in the season, once he does gain full trust in these young receivers, then they could be scary. And Doubs had a great game this past week too. Would he have like 8 for 83 and a touchdown,
and a tub,
something like that.
I just think that game they're doing great in the first half. Offense is flowing. Aaron Jones fumbles on the 2-yard line, and they shut down. The whole second half, punt. Didn't move the ball at all. It's when like one thing goes wrong in a tight game against a good team, and Rodgers just shuts it down.
They need to have
Every
a team
time.
ayahuasca trip.
Yeah, they do.
Roger needs to fully, or him and his receivers and running backs and O-line.
They always need
the
to
whole
go
offense, yes.
But what's the big thing with the Packers is their defense.
You need to go to
is better.
Burning Man and figure it out.
Their defense is definitely. I know they were going up
Their
against.
defense was great last year.
Well, isn't
Yeah.
Alexander out now too?
Yeah, I think he's out for a little bit.
Yeah,
Jair
Jair.
is for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just can't get behind. Like, I just don't think Kirk Cousins is gonna play good enough as consistently as he needs to for them to actually win the division.
I mean, how many games would it take to win the division?
To win the division, though, you could win that division at 11 and 6.
Yeah, 11 games.
Maybe even
I think
10
they
and
can
7
totally
on a
win 11
tiebreaker.
games.
I think they could, but
the
I don't
Vikings
think.
always play the Packers really well too. So
I mean,
don't know why,
Kirk's a good regular season quarterback.
Absolutely.
That's never been the problem in his career. It's been,
How many primetime
Sunday night
games do they
football,
have?
and it's been playoff time. He just shuts down. He just looks very mid.
Yeah.
So I think they definitely could win the division.
I still think they absolutely could.
I mean, I think they have a good chance of winning the division.
I do. I would bet it right now.
Yeah, but if they get there in the playoffs, I don't. They maybe win a wild card game and then get booted round 2.
Yeah, I don't see them doing much in the playoffs. I mean, the only thing is like depends who they match. Like if they match up with like Dallas or like, I mean, even Philly. Like Philly looks great, but like it's kind of the same thing. Do we trust Philly in the playoffs?
Hurts could have a bad passing game.
I'd probably honestly trust Hurts more than Kirk Cousins in the playoffs, honestly. But I mean,
I would too at this point.
Hurts has played in so many big games in college. Like,
But
Hurts seems like a guy that
one
would
of these
rise
teams
to
right
the
now
occasion.
too. Like I kind of compare it to like Dallas last year.
Yeah.
First 10 games we were fire. Everyone's like, this is the class of the NFC.
Yeah.
The roster was great, and Philly's roster is great. But I think come playoff time, Hurts' arm is actually going to really get exposed. Right now, they can just run the ball, do whatever they want. Hurts is running for like 70, 75 yards a game. The defense is great. But I think for them to make a real run, everything's going to have to click.
It's going to have to be
here,
like what? When they win it, 2017? They're going to have the best defense and the best running game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're on the
It's not
Eagles.
going to be because of Hurts. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's just go. Eagles beat Commanders 24-8. Eagles cover. Yeah, I mean,
sheer dominance.
They
just dominated.
Are the
Also,
Eagles-
one thing I saw too is in the second half of games they have not been good. They
their
get up big in the
offense,
first half, and then second half they kind of
Yeah.
fizzle out a little bit.
that is my only. That's what I want to see from them is that they've kicked the shit out of the Vikings and the Commanders in these games, but they've still only scored 24 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like them to score because I think they scored all 24 in the second quarter of this game against the Commanders.
They didn't score a single point in the second half.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to see them put up,
At least
30,
get to
30,
30,
35 in these games.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, are they the best in the NFC?
I think 'cause
right now, yeah.
Right now, yes, but the Bucs, we're missing all our
Bucs.
receivers. The Packers are going to take a little bit to gel. I think
Rams,
Philly,
Niners,
as of this point
they're
right
gonna
now,
be
after
there.
week 3, Philly is the best team in the league. But
League?
or not the league in the NFC. But I feel like most years, after the first 3 or 4 weeks, there's a team at the top, near the top, that usually fizzles out and they get exposed late season, come playoff time. And I think Philly is kind of fool's gold. Like I get putting them there right now at the very top of the NFC because they're undefeated. They haven't really had a close game. They look good all around.
Their defense looks
Their
nasty.
defense,
Yeah, the defense looks really good.
But come playoff time, give me Tom Brady and the Bucs over them.
Absolutely.
easily.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I think it's going to be Bucs and Eagles 1 and 2. I think for the rest of the season, I'd be comfortable saying that, especially because the Eagles' schedule is going to be so easy. They're going to get a great
cakewalk
record.
schedule. Like,
They're
dude,
probably going to get the one seed.
Dude, they only have like a handful of games to where you're like, okay, that's actually a good team.
Well,
yeah.
But the thing is, though, obviously, once playoff time comes around, and you assume that the Bucs have more than Cole Beasley, Russell Gage, and Brashad Perriman.
Yeah, once they get Mike Evans, Julio Jones, and Godwin back, they're gonna get Ryan Jensen back. I think.
Yeah. And that
before postseason
that Bucs
time.
defense is fucking legit
Bucs
too.
defense
That
is
was-
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
They might be. I mean, they might
And
be
that
as
Jamal
good, if
Dean guy
not
has
better.
3 picks. Where'd he come from?
I mean, they might be as good, if not better, than. I think I'd probably take the Bucs D over the Eagles.
I mean, dude, oh my God,
can't really
the
go
Eagles
wrong.
got to have one of the easiest schedule. I mean, dude,
It's our
they
division.
play Dallas twice. They play Packers. They play the Colts. They play the
Colts don't look like
the Cardinals. Like, dude, this Jags game may be one of their tougher games. And who would have thought that coming
favored
into
by
the
a
season?
touchdown too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, their schedule is insanely.
Yeah,
easy.
I think they roll to the 1 seed. I think they're gonna win like 13 or 14 games.
Yeah.
Probably. I think. I mean, I don't know what's going to stand in their way, especially because Hurts did look great from the pocket in that game.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was.
So let me ask you all this: if you were to insert Dak Prescott on this current Eagles roster, would this Eagles team look as dominant with Dak or with Hurts?
I'm gonna say Hurts because Hurts can run.
Just because the offense is built kind of around Hurts? You think
I would trust the team more. I would trust him more in the playoffs. Like I'd feel more comfortable going up against the Bucs with Dak than Hurts. Because I think Hurts, like, yes, he's great. His running's great, but it's like when we get into these big games, like,
and it's
good,
I gotta have
defensive coordinators.
I gotta have it. Yeah,
you gotta make this 3rd and 9. Like, I need this 3rd and 8. You gotta make this play. I don't think he's gonna. I really don't in the playoffs. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think it's gonna.
Especially
happen.
when he's facing an awesome pass rush.
Right. And he's playing Tampa or the Niners or
or Micah.
I mean, it's not like
Micah.
It's not like Dak's someone who's done that consistently. I mean,
see, I would have to agree with Brophy on this one. Personally, for the way the Eagles are built, I would take Hurts, just because they're built to run the ball. But
I really think the option around the goal line
and
with
I feel
Hurts'
like
ability to run is huge.
I think it is too. And with their receivers that they have, A.J. Brown, or maybe not Devontae as much, with A.J. Brown, it's just like, get him the ball. We don't need a 20-yard fraud.
Devontae's
great.
pretty.
I mean, even
he's
Devontae
pretty
too, but A.J. Brown's more of a yards after catch guy. But yeah, I like Hurts more just the way on the roster's built.
I still think I'd rather have Dak. We've seen Dak with great teams, and he's great. I mean,
Not playoff time.
He didn't play well this last year, but I mean, previously in the playoffs, he's been pretty good.
I mean, Cooper Rush is 3-0 as Cowboys starter.
Hey, I'd be fine going to Cooper Rush.
We'll get to Cooper Rush.
We can trade Dak and get his contract off. I'm fine with that. I'm sweating balls.
All right, but real quick before we go to the next game, the Commanders, they looked like ass. I think Wentz got sacked 6 times in the first half.
I've seen a lot of people shit on Carson Wentz, but
Wentz revenge
dude,
game.
He got sacked 9 times. Like I actually watched a lot of that game, and like every fucking play. I mean, they got down earlier, so it was passing situations almost every snap.
Yeah.
And every play, he's running for his life. It's like, what can you even do in that situation?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Like, I like Carson Wentz isn't the best, but I mean
the Commanders are just inferior.
Their
personnel is just inferior.
Their O-line sucks. They have good weapons, but their defense has talent. Who their D coordinator is
Jack
must
Del
just be
Rio.
a fucking idiot. Like, get him out of there, because their defensive line has talent.
Is Chase Young playing?
No,
he's
out.
injured still.
I mean, hell, even at this, who they got? They got Jonathan Allen. They got
Payne.
Daron Payne.
Montez Sweat's still playing for them, right?
Is he hurt?
I have no idea. I thought he was.
I don't know.
Matt Ioannidis is gone.
That roster just lacks a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I mean,
the back end of that defense too is bad.
I mean, where does the Commanders' personnel rank in the league?
Definitely bottom half.
Probably
bottom third.
Is it bottom 5 maybe?
I wouldn't say bottom.
I mean, they need to
5.
get Jack Del Rio out of there. I mean, he's literally there because he's friends with Ron Rivera. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know why.
I mean, you got Ron Rivera there too. Like, the defense should at least be mid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you have Ron Rivera as your head coach.
Well, I mean, a couple of years ago, they had the same type of deal with a good front 7 and shit secondary, and they were were they top 5 that league?
They need Chase Young. They
no doubt.
Desperately need Chase Young.
He's like,
it's like take Mike off the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now Chase Young's not Micah, but take him off.
But he's the heart and soul of that defense.
He's their TJ Watt.
He's their Myles Garrett. You have to have the defense runs around him. If he's not getting the double teams and creating pressure.
All right, next up we got Ravens at the Patriots. Ravens win 37-26. Ravens cover.
Lamar's a god.
Lamar is a god.
We do know that much.
Front runner for MVP right now.
We were talking about this, I believe it was last night, but you were saying that you would not pay Lamar, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't give him the contract.
How could you not pay him at this point?
I wouldn't pay him the long-term
he was
contract.
saying
If I'm the Ravens, I wouldn't.
You have
You
to.
wouldn't
you have,
pay him a long-term
You have to pay
contract.
Lamar at this point.
I would go ahead and give him
what are you
the because he can't leave. I would give him the
He
franchise
could hold
tag.
out.
I wouldn't bet on it. I think he knows he has to play. He's not like Le'Veon Bell.
But if you're Lamar, though, think from Lamar's perspective. It's okay. Let's say I sign this franchise tag and then pop my Achilles. You're probably swinging at the max, but it's like my value goes way down versus where I can sit out for a year and train, and I know if I go into the next offseason, a team's going to throw me the absolute max possible.
You wouldn't extend Lamar?
The thing is, I'm if I'm the Ravens, you see the style of play that Lamar plays with all the running, all the hits and everything, when you also have 2 more years of team control to tag him. And then, after that, you bite the bullet and you pay him. And it will be a couple years later, and the contract will be even that much more massive. But with the way that Lamar plays, like anything can happen.
What's the point of that though? Because tagging him, you're still paying him top 5 money.
Yeah, but it's only for a year. You're not hitching your wagon at him for the next 5 years.
But okay, let's say odds are you do tag him, right? Bearing a catastrophic career-ending injury, you're going to go sign him the next offseason, and you're going to pay him more money than you would.
I mean, think if
he can't double tag him. He's not going to accept a double tag.
Think if he had an injury like Dax. He still's going to get the, he's still going to reset the market.
Unless he has like a Jalen Smith injury to where like his nerve damage is fucked up. He's going to get paid.
Oh, but these running quarterbacks don't last forever, man. He doesn't get down like he should.
But it's like when you're the Ravens, though, it's like, okay, let's say he
doesn't run that much. But like, he's running like 8-9 times a game. Josh Allen's running just as much. He does
take some wear and tear. I'm concerned about Josh Allen running as well, too, though.
Yeah, no one's bitching about his contract.
No one, but he's got a different arm than Lamar, but Lamar's legs are also different
Lamar
as well.
can sling that ball.
I would sign him.
They should have signed him a year ago.
Yeah, they should have signed him a year ago. But it's like if you don't go ahead and sign Lamar.
Well, the thing is, I don't think they can sign him now. They have to wait till the offseason now.
But if you wait till the offseason and you don't sign him, then what do you trade him for a few first-round picks and you draft a quarterback?
You're going to tag him.
But
you're still paying him $40 million. Then.
Yeah, but it's just for the 1 year.
But then you're going to tag him the year after.
Unless something happens.
So unless he like loses his leg? Because he gets like an Alex
even like
Smith
nowadays,
injury,
like ACL is like not a huge deal in today's NFL. Like you can get an ACL and it's not going to really affect your market value that much. Unless it's like a Jalen Smith, Alex Smith ACL. But
I don't know. I'm pretty similar. I can see why the Ravens did it. And they did offer him like a great deal. I mean, they still offer him $130 million guaranteed.
I mean, I think that 95.
I think that's just disrespectful.
I think like 90.
That's just ridiculous.
I think like 95% at least of Ravens fans would want them to sign Lamar versus trade him off.
Okay, Lamar's also developing as a passer. He's a top half passer in the league.
And we got to also remember
who do you think's a better passer, Jimmy Garoppolo or Lamar?
Lamar. Lamar.
He's incredible.
Who's the best receiver Lamar's ever had? Bateman.
Marquise Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Dez,
who's mid.
Dez.
Willie Snead.
Yeah, like what the fuck are we doing
Like
here?
we still haven't seen him, and I don't think he's a type of QB where he needs an alpha number 1 receiver, but I would love to see him with an alpha number 1 receiver.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
He's becoming a top 10 passer in the league. He's from the pocket. He's won the best quarterback against the blitz by far through 3 games. And from the pocket, he's got like top 5 efficiency this year with shit receivers outside. On top of the fact that he's probably the most dynamic weapon on the field running the ball out of anyone in the league, arguably.
Well, and he's carrying the Ravens right now. They lost Ronnie Stanley. Their O-line's not that good anymore.
They should be 3-0.
Their defense kind of sucks balls at this point.
Yeah, it's awful.
He's carrying this team.
I mean, the Patriots dropped 30 on him. The Patriots can't move the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, who they have on their D-line? An old-ass Calais Campbell, and that's
it's like I think I'd only do it if I was in the Ravens situation, like to where you can tag him for a couple more years. If I'm another team, like I would totally trade.
Okay. So let's say Lamar continues to play like this. So he finishes top 3 in MVP voting. Ravens win the division, and they do whatever they do in the playoffs, and he doesn't get hurt. You tag him, and you don't sign him to a contract.
I'd tag him. I'd still talk to him about contracts.
I personally think that his agent would say, "Look,
he doesn't have an agent. He's his own agent, which I think is hurting him.
It probably is hurting him. But I mean, if I'm Lamar in that situation,
he's gonna make more money than anyone else.
I wouldn't even sign a tag. If he does again, like you said, top 3 in MVP voting.
He's the MVP right now.
Seed, I mean, he's easily the MVP right
There's
now.
also a case to where they could just be, doing what the Yankees did with Judge and being like, "Hey, dude, like prove it that you're the best quarterback in the league." So, no
one else has to do that, though.
He's proven it every year of his career.
I mean, last year
if Dak Prescott can get a max super deal, there's
Kirk Cousins.
In no world should Lamar.
Okay,
not.
You're going down the Kirk Cousins route, though. What does everyone say about Kirk Cousins?
That's what I said earlier.
He's literally the guy who's stolen the most money from anyone in the NFL. That's the route you want to go, is the Kirk Cousins route, which gets him even more paid than what he would get.
Because hypothetically, too, like let's say you double tag him, right? Like you're probably going to end up paying him an extra $10 million a year, if not more, based on where the market value is going to be at QBs in a few years.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, with what happened last year, I think they probably did just want him, like, hey, like, show us that you're like the best quarterback in the league, and you deserve to be the best quarterback in the league.
But the best quarterback in the league doesn't always get the best contract. In this league, if you're a top 12 or 13 quarterback in the league, you're going to get the best quarterback. You're going to get the best contract.
That's in every sport and at every position.
Yeah.
I understand
when
that.
you're a quarterback in the NFL, like you don't have to be the best.
But it also only benefited the Ravens because like because no one's going to get signed doing a massive extension in the season right now. So even if they can just wait till the offseason and give Lamar that contract after he proves it to him, versus since they didn't give him that contract, something could have happened this year to where Lamar could have lost some of his value.
But what could happen, though, beyond, like, nerve damage?
I mean, they could have not looked as good. They could have not made the playoffs again. I mean,
but even if they go 10-7 though and get booed in the wild card, he's still going to get that contract.
I mean, last year they were the 1 seed in the AFC till he got hurt.
I'm just saying, if something could have happened, there's always things that can happen.
But that can happen to anyone.
Of course, but it's like as far as the Ravens go, they're still going to offer him probably a record-setting contract at some point.
So why not get it out of the way
and save money?
I don't think.
I mean, if you were to ask Jerry Jones, I'm sure he'd want to do that a few years ago.
I don't think they would. I don't think they're going to save any money between giving him a record-setting contract this year and giving it to him this offseason.
They would on the back end, because on the back end, that's when the contracts are going to be. They'll be signed if they actually do what you want to do, double tag. Quarterbacks will be getting $50 million by then.
I'm sorry.
So his contract won't be for 40. It'll be for 50.
Well, then you got to look at the fact too. If you're saying you're wary about his health and him holding up, it's like if you wait 2 more years, you're paying him that much more money, then you're hurting the roster around him too. The cap.
I'm starting.
It's like I would get him locked up now, and then we'll worry about the rest.
I'm starting to pull back on more so the cap hit for 2 years. If he wins MVP this year, I would pay him. I think you have no choice.
What more does he have to do?
What if he finishes top 3 and they're the 2 seed?
What more than
that doesn't? I don't think that changes.
But if you're
anything.
Lamar though, and you're Lamar's agent, which is Lamar, it's like in his mind, like what else do I have to prove to y'all that I deserve this money?
I think he just unfortunately went through a bad year last year where he was hurt and the Ravens didn't do as good.
They were the 1 seed when he played through 11 games. He was awesome.
Yeah, I know, but the team didn't finish great. It's not his fault, but he was
out.
I know he was hurt, but it's like when the team's like, hey, like we didn't make the playoffs. Like I know you were hurt, but like this team could have done better and it didn't.
That's never affected any other quarterback ever. Dak literally, his ankle came out of his leg, and he got 4 years $160 a year and a half ago. Like.
Yeah, he set the market.
And we were terrible. We drafted Micah. We were drafting top 10.
I think either way, regardless, he's gonna get paid. I'm just saying I can see why the Ravens held off for a year.
But they didn't even try to. They tried to make him like a top 3 paid quarterback.
What did they offer him?
They offered him 133 guaranteed and like
240. It was like right under Russell's deal.
Okay, yeah, I mean, today's league, it's like if you're that QB, you reset the market.
What the fuck has Russell Wilson done?
That's what every quarterback does. They reset the market.
3 years. What has Russell Wilson done?
I think isn't it like the past 5 or 6 every time they've reset the market, right?
Yeah, absolutely every time.
Yeah. Carson Wentz reset the market for playing 8 games.
Kirk Cousins, like when he originally signed his 3-year deal, was like a top 4 paid quarterback. Like,
yeah, I think.
Joe Flacco reset the market after he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
Because they're saying that they want. Because they're saying
His son's probably happy about that, though.
Oh yeah.
They're saying Lamar wants to he wants to be in the Deshaun Watson 240 guaranteed the entire deal.
Wait. So in what world has Deshaun Watson proven to get this contract over Lamar? And Deshaun got it.
Oh no! I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and say that Deshaun's better. But
if Deshaun
only got it because he was because Deshaun was on the open market. Like on the open market, everyone's just bidding for him. Like that's the shit that's gonna happen. If Lamar was on the open market, he'd get the same thing that Deshaun got.
So from the Ravens' perspective, though, if you're the Ravens GM, and let's just say Lamar doesn't prove to you that he deserves his contract, what's your next move? You're gonna trade him, get everything you can, and rebuild?
I'd probably just offer him something similar to what you offered him previously.
But he's not gonna accept that. It's like he's going to want to reset that market
deal. His price is
deal.
going up each
and if
week.
He's going to decline
be the highest paid quarterback.
Yeah, and
like
rightfully
does.
so.
Yeah. They want to
he's
reset
not.
the market.
He's not. Kurt did it, and he's worlds better than Kurt. But it's like what? But I'm asking you, like, what are you going to do if he declines that? And you're holding your ground. You're like, we're not going to pay you this, Lamar. Are you trading him for a bunch of draft capital?
You're going to have to tag him.
Let's say he declines the tag, which I think
I have a hard time thinking that that he would actually sit out. I think he's so much of a player's guy. I think he'd wait till the last day and then he'd play. I don't think he'd actually sit out a season like Le'Veon Bell would.
But I'm Lamar though, like you mentioned, right?
At some point the disrespect gets too much. And he's his own agent. Like he doesn't have someone in his ear.
He
telling
should not
him,
be his own agent though.
No, he shouldn't be. But he's his own agent. Like at some point, he already feels disrespected.
Yeah.
It's like I've won an MVP. I've
his
been
whole
the best.
career.
I've been a top 3
quarterback. Going into the draft, there's like, how do you feel about being a receiver, a running back?
Well,
like I'm a quarterback. Like I'm one of the best.
Yeah. I mean, most players that get tagged feel disrespect to a certain degree.
But most players that get tagged do not have the body of work.
No, that's true.
The
but
stats that Lamar has.
I think he's going to be disrespected and hate the business side of the game, but I think he's going to play still. I don't think. I mean, maybe the second time, maybe the second tag, he actually would sit out. But I don't think he'd sit out the first one.
But you're still losing money on that. Significant amount of money. Because let's say you sign him this offseason, which if you do, you're going to be looking at what, 5 years, $250, probably full guaranteed. So that's this.
What did Kyler reset it this past offseason?
Kyler reset it, and then Russ said it.
But Russ is a 6. So he's like 6 for $240.
Yeah.
So that's $40 million a year. Lamar's going to get 50 now. By the end of this season, Lamar will be at 50. By the time you tag him, that's 60. And that's going to be inflated and backloaded to by the time that 4th or 5th year, he's going to be looking north to close to 70.
I mean,
whereas if you sign him this offseason, it's going to be bad.
Rodgers is the highest paid. He reset it this offseason. With 4 years, 200.
If Lamar wins MVP, we're not having this discussion.
Well, what if Lamar finishes top 3 in MVP voting? It doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
I think even if he's like top 6 or 7 and the Ravens make the playoffs,
as long as he doesn't
and even
tear
if they
his
lose
ACL,
first round, he's still.
If the Ravens are a top 3 seed,
he would have to fall off a cliff to not deserve this contract.
He'd have to fall off a cliff or like tear his Achilles or something, and like even then,
even if he tore his Achilles, he'd still get it.
It would have to be like a nerve damage injury where the doctor,
like an Alex Smith injury.
So the doctor's like, I don't know if he's going to come back from this.
I honestly think at this point it might just be a deal where it's like him being his own agent might hurt him. Like because
are there any other players that are their own agents?
There are a couple. I can't name off the top of my head.
I don't understand why he's his own agent. Why even put yourself through all that work and stress and shit?
I mean, right now, honestly, it's looking great for him. I mean, he's going to get paid more money than he would have.
But I feel like
an agent.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get tagged. If he gets tagged, regardless, like they could have signed him this offseason for 45. Now it's going to be 50 or 55 unless he gets tagged, which then he's going to get 45 anyway, and then he's going to sign a contract for 60 a year. He's doing the Kirk Cousins method.
It's just kind of sad because what the Ravens' motive show is that like they're saying like we're not sold that he's our guy, which is kind of sad.
I think they are. I mean, they offered him a ton, but they offered him top 5 money.
I mean, I think with Dallas a few years ago, right? That's what we kind of heard from Cowboys camp is like, we love Dak, but we're not comfortable paying him that top tier money because we're not sure if he's that guy, and then you end up folding and you budge, which I think is going to happen here in Baltimore.
But that's more reasonable with Dak because Dak's not that guy.
No,
he's not
worth that guy.
Money.
No.
Hell, I mean, if I was him and I did pay him, I just like front load everything to the first like 2 or 3 years, and then like
Lamar's not going to accept that.
But if you front load everything, I mean, who cares? Like,
it's still going to be guaranteed. Lamar's still going to want it all guaranteed anyway.
Yeah, but he's not going to realistically get everything guaranteed.
He might.
No, I mean, if Kyler and Russ didn't,
if he demands it, they're gonna give it to him.
I mean, I'm sure that's what he's demanding. I'm sure it's what Kyler's demanded.
Deshaun got 5 years, $230, fully guaranteed.
But he's
the only one of these top guys that got fully guaranteed, which is
that was only
to me.
because he was on a bidding with every team was able to grab him. He was a complete free agent.
I know that. But
that's a completely different situation than when a team actually has team control of you and is not trying to actively get rid of you.
But at some point, you're going to alienate him. Like, you're going to alienate him to where I'm not playing here anymore. I'm done. This is bullshit. And if they screw it up again this offseason, don't give him what he wants, that is a route that they're looking at.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
if I'm Lamar, that's what I'm thinking. It's
absolutely.
like I've been carrying this team.
You don't want to pay me what I want. Everyone else gets what they want. I've been better than pretty much everyone else.
The whole league knows I'm a top 5 quarterback.
Easy. Yeah.
Disrespected.
All
so you still don't think Lamar can win a Super Bowl? I remember we talked about this.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he will.
That's just disrespectful.
I'll stick with that. But
that's ridiculous.
I guess, we'll just have to.
Who can win a Super Bowl? Can Herbert?
I think Herbert can.
He's never made the playoffs.
He's played 2 years.
You know what? What kind of pisses me off is like coming into this season, everyone was ready to put Herbert, for example, ahead of Lamar.
You're ready to put him over Mahomes.
For proving what?
Nothing.
He hasn't even made the playoffs.
What has Josh Allen done?
So
Josh Allen's 3-3 in the playoffs.
I think Josh
you have
Allen,
great
Justin
regular
Herbert,
season
Lamar Jackson,
stats.
any day of the fucking week.
You have great regular season stats, but like, prove it to me when it matters.
What has Josh Allen done? He's never made the he made the conference championship once and got destroyed.
I think Josh Allen's different. I mean, because
he's physically gifted.
He is, and like the eye test doesn't lie. I mean, he should have been in the AFC Championship.
There's the exact same risk that he runs with Lamar. The exact same running. He takes hits all the time. It's not. He runs the exact same way.
But I think it's.
Look at Cam.
I think
Look
it's the
at
same
Big
risk.
Ben.
I would give Josh the same contract.
Absolutely.
I have no problem giving either of those guys whatever they want.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm just a Lamar Jackson hater. So that's just me. I just don't like
You
it.
hear that, Lamar?
That's just disrespectful.
All right. We'll just have to, agree to disagree on that one. All right. Raiders at Titans. Titans win 24-22. Titans cover. Raiders just 0-3. Just
Raiders
Not
are screwed.
not
I think I saw a
going
stat. It
well.
was like 97% of teams that start 0-3 don't make the playoffs or
There's been
something.
like one out of the last 80 teams that have made the playoffs.
And like my thing with the Raiders coming into this year is like everyone was hyping them up. They got Devontae, they got Josh McDaniels, but
spent all that money.
Josh McDaniels and his one coaching job was shit.
Yep.
Outside of this defense, it's like if Max Crosby and Chandler Jones can't combine for 25 sacks, your defense is terrible.
Yep.
In which they've shown that in these first 3 games that like these guys are good, but they're not fucking Micah Parsons and Lawrence Taylor on the edges. They're great edge rushers. They're not like first team all pros. Chandler Jones used to be. He's not anymore though. Their linebackers suck. Their secondary sucks. Their O-line sucks. It's like you're not going to go that far with 2 edge rushers, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams.
Well, it's like
and
Derek
a coach that in reality is unproven.
Yeah. And Derek Carr is not Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Derek Carr's good.
Yeah.
He can win games,
He's
but
solid.
he's not
No.
a top 10 guy.
But even so, too, like I think even if you were to drop Aaron on this Raiders team, I still don't know how much better they would be. And like the roster is not very good. That's just the
it's
facts.
just top
of it.
heavy. It's ridiculously top heavy.
It's a very mediocre roster.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they've still been in these games. It's not like they got blown out. I mean, that Cardinals game, they definitely should have won that game.
Well,
but like,
I mean, they should have won this Titans game too.
Yeah,
Well,
they got down
they got
24-0,
dominated
right?
for most of that game.
Well,
I mean, the first half Tennessee did. The second half though, they were moving the ball.
They just
McDaniels
kept
had to be
shooting
more
themselves in the
aggressive too.
foot.
They had a few occurrences. I think it was 4th and short, and he decided to go for the field goal, and then they had a chance to tie it up late. But
they literally have a good half and a bad half every game. That first game against the Chargers, first half bad half, second half they made it close and almost came back and won the game. And then the game last week against the Cardinals, great first half, shitty second half, and lost the game. This week, shitty first half, good second half, and almost came back.
And this team was due to regress. I mean, last year, and I think it was in like one possession games. They had an
were really
insane
good.
record,
Yeah.
and like their red zone percentages were insane. Like I think their red zone defense was like top 5, and their overall defense was like 25th or 26th. Like this team was due to regress.
Yeah.
It's like I don't care if you had 2 or 3 players. Like NFL is a team game, and the coach is unproven. I think there's a reason. I mean, McDaniels has been on the market forever now, but I mean, I think there's a reason he's probably sat in Belichick's pocket for so damn long.
I think, he's one of those guys that he's just better as an OC.
Yeah.
Like, he's better in that role. Like,
And
there's
if
coaches
they go
like
7
that.
and 10 this year, there's a good chance he's probably gone.
I bet they give him a second.
No, they'll give him a second
They'll
year.
give him a second year. But if he doesn't get to the playoffs that second year,
But
then he's
Mac
definitely
Hollins.
go. Mac Hollins.
Shout out
how
Big
about
E.
Big E.
Yeah.
Pulling the Mac
Wow.
Hollins card out of his ass.
I did not see that one coming from a fucking mile 3,
Yeah.
10 mile. I mean, who would have
He's a
saw
good ball
that
player.
come?
Literally,
He's had double-digit targets in the last 2 games.
literally,
Yeah.
literally 4th and goal with their season on the line, and they lob it up to Mac Hollins
and he
one-on-one.
mosses the quarterback.
I mean, looks
That's
like
literally
fucking-
exactly what Big E said. A big guy who can go up and get the ball.
looks like Calvin Johnson out there. But I mean, are the Raiders the most disappointing team in the NFL?
I would say so.
I'd say
right
so.
now. Because I mean, I don't think they're. I mean, the Bengals kind of were, but they beat the
Chargers,
Jets. So looking up.
Cardinals.
The Chargers have had injury problems. Not Bengals. Raiders have been healthy.
Yeah.
It's all been there on the field. It's just they haven't made the plays they need to make. They haven't made it happen, which is sad because they, coming this year, they're a very exciting team. But I
Their
think
weaknesses are showing.
I think it just shows, like with this Raiders team, is that like the NFL's not the NBA. You can't win with a few pieces. It's
Yeah.
a team game.
Yep.
It's a full team game.
And
Everyone's
the
gotta
Raiders
be bought in.
they're like the last 20 years, they're dysfunctional. Like they don't draft well. They don't make good moves most of the time. Like they don't build
Who's
their
first
team
round
the
pick
right
this
way.
year?
Do they have a first
Did they
round
trade
pick?
it? They might have traded it for Devontae.
Yeah.
No, they traded for
definitely did, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Their drafts the past 5 years have been just pitiful.
Yeah, John
I mean,
Gruden didn't.
that Leatherwood
great
guy's
job.
already gone. Their first
Yeah.
round pick last year from Bama.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Jacobs is like one of their best picks.
And that's
I think he is their best
he-
first round
it's
pick.
tough
in
to
the
miss
last
on
5
a
years.
first round running back.
Yeah, and he's not even that good. Like he's good, but it's like he's a running
I
back.
think he's good. I just think their O line is just so bad.
I think
to
he's
where-
good, but he's not like a perennial top
No,
5 back,
no.
and he's a running back. Like you can get great running backs in the 4th round.
Yeah. But my thing now with the Titans is, I think that we all kind of disrespected that. I think the Titans are going to be a competitive team all year. And after they got blown out by the Bills, it's like, all right, is this team done for? But I think Mike Vrabel is honestly arguably the most underrated coach in the league. And as long as you have Derrick Henry healthy and their defense is not great, but it's good, they're going to be competitive.
I don't know if
they got Jeffrey Simmons, they got Kevin Byard, they got
We were talking
Landry.
last week about their defense being awful.
I mean, do you think they're actually a threat outside of? I mean, they could definitely win their division because it sucks.
I don't think they
can.
I think they could win the division. I don't think they can make noise in the postseason. But I think they're going to be a team that's competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I think they win 7 games. Like
it's definitely time to get a new quarterback in there. But I don't think they're like a dumpster fire. But
no,
like,
they're not a bottom.
Yeah, I don't think you can
like
go against the Titans and be like, we're just going to steamroll them. Even though the Bills did, but I think the Bills.
The Bills have that capability.
They have that Mike Tyson knockout power.
And regardless, just because you have Vrabel and you still have competent players around, this is still at the very least an 8-9, 9-8 team.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're somewhere between the 17th to 22nd team in the NFL.
Because they're another team too. It's like they're like the Raiders as well. Like their personnel is slacking.
Yeah, outside of a few key positions.
Like
their offensive line is horrible.
Yeah, their offense. I mean, after Taylor Lewan's gone, I mean, they probably have the worst O-line in the league.
Yeah.
One thing that I like too, though, from this past game was Derrick Henry had like 6 catches.
But yeah,
that's one thing that made me think. It's like Derrick Henry has never caught passes ever in his career, but I think at this point, if you're I don't know who their OC is, but
you have to find a way to
get him the ball. And like I think he was averaging like 10 yards a catch, but I love that. And I love that for Derrick Henry's fantasy value as well too.
No doubt.
Because no one's expecting him to get passes. And I think the first catch he had, they ran him a slip screen and he fucking almost dropped it too. No one was near him. He fucking juggled it around.
Yeah.
But if he starts catching passes, I mean,
they got to get
just
creative.
Get that guy the ball any way you possibly can.
It's the only way you win.
He still is Derrick Henry.
Yeah. And Bob Woods played better. They got Treylon Burks. They've got
Hooper.
Weapons. They got
Hooper. Pro Bowler.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that O-line, though. Yeah. If their O-line was still decent, they could make noise. But
yeah.
Yeah. Very disappointing. Titans. They're competitive.
Yeah. Both just kind of boring teams.
Yeah.
Well, here's another boring game. Texans at Bears. Bears win 23-20. They push. My only thing is, does Justin Fields, does he just suck? I mean, is that
I think I was wrong about everything I said. I think he's just flat out dog shit.
I think the Bears might be one of the worst 2-1 teams in the last 20 years.
I'm literally looking up right now worst 2-1 NFL teams in history.
Yeah.
Because I was about to ask that. Is this Bears team the worst 2-1 team in history?
They might be.
I mean,
they are abysmal.
Hell, they might be 3-1.
I mean, how the fuck are they 2-1?
Yeah, they scored 23 points. I know Herbert had a great game, but Justin Fields was 8-17 with 2 picks. How they scored 23 points.
And that's so they just obviously don't trust him at all, and he hasn't done anything to trust him. I mean, the game before he had 11 attempts.
Yeah,
he's
had 2 games in a row. They're finding ways to win.
Finding ways to win.
He has 23 completions through 3 games. I think.
What was their over/under?
23.
I think
three.
No, I saw that on Pardon My Take.
Yeah,
it
was 1978. The Bucs had 3 quarterbacks that combined for 25 completions.
And
that's the only other time.
And one of the quarterbacks was a former Bear that I think set the previous record.
I think they said he was 5-12 starting, and he had 12 touchdowns and 34 picks.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Ben Hogan or something. I don't know what it was.
Jesus.
Hulk Hogan's brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the Texans, they're scrappy. I mean, they're a scrappy bunch.
Their personnel's so bad.
Yeah.
They have the worst personnel.
They've been scrapping around the past year and a half.
They fight.
Though.
Davis
you gotta
Mills
respect it. Dameon Pierce looks good too.
He does.
He's a hard-nosed running back.
If you're a Dameon Pierce owner, great week for you. Rex Burkhead didn't do much. Had 3 carries.
But I would say the contrast this week, they're facing
Giants.
Was it Giants?
Yeah.
Okay, so Pierce.
Wait. Oh no, the Texans are playing the Chargers.
Okay, I think this is a Burkhead week.
Probably.
I think
Pierce still caught passes.
He did. But
I don't know if the Chargers play they did last week. That might be a close game.
Yeah, but I think any week, I think if you're wanting to start a Texans running back though, if they're facing a team that you think they're going to be competitive or be up, then Damien's going to be great. But if they get down early, I think Burkhead's proven that he's the preferred pass catching.
Yeah.
3rd down back.
I don't know if there's a scenario where you can start Rex Burkhead.
I mean, the first
week one he had like 8 targets.
I mean, the first week he was getting all the touches.
Hey, with how shitty the running backs are in today's fantasy formats, you might have to fucking throw.
I mean, but like after that, between the first and second week, Lovie Smith said we were going to get Dameon Pierce the ball, and ever since that, Dameon Pierce has been the solidified number 1 guy. Like, not even a question.
Stingley got hurt too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Was that last week he got hurt?
I think he got hurt and he came back though.
Oh, he's back. Okay, yeah. Good for him.
Okay, good form. All right, let's try and just speed through this. Saints at Panthers. Panthers won 22-14. Panthers cover. The Saints just looked like shit.
That game was awful.
Yeah, not a great game. I mean, nothing really to talk about besides Jameis and Dalton.
Is it Andy Dalton time?
Give me Andy Dalton. I'm a Kamara fantasy owner, and I would love to see the Red Rifle go in there and just check it down 7 or 8 times a game to Kamara. That would be beautiful. I would love to see that. Because Jameis does not throw to Kamara.
No.
It's like, dude, I don't... Okay, and another thing that I was completely wrong about coming into this season is that I truly believe that, like, Pete Carmichael could, dampen the loss of Sean Payton and, make this offense still be in the same ballpark creativity-wise and efficiency-wise, but he obviously is just not Sean Payton. I mean, I just don't get it. With this past game, Kamara has 17 carries and, 2 targets. It's like Alvin.
That's not how you use him.
That's not. He's not even. I don't even want to call Alvin Kamara a running back. He's a weapon.
Yeah.
When you have a weapon of his status,
weaponize him.
Yes, weaponize him. Give him targets. Just literally let him fucking run out and throw him the ball and let him dodge a defender and get yards.
You got to run it 2 or 3 screens.
Don't run it up the gut 18 times and you only get that out of him. Like, what are you doing?
Well, remember that Bucs game when he was out? They were tossing to Tony Jones and Mark Ingram and fucking whoever the fuck. They were just tossing it out to him like multiple times.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when Kamara's in there, they don't do that. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and their defense is great too, but their defense is just getting exhausted. They're like going. They're on the field 2/3 of the game. Yeah. I mean, like, what are they even supposed to do? It's like, 3 and out, great, we're on the field. Oh, Jameis pick, we're on the field. It's like eventually, even a team like Baker and the Panthers are going to start scoring. Like they're going to break a play.
As pitiful as Baker is.
Yeah.
But even too, like with the Kamara thing, it's like it's not like they can't get him. You have weapons on the outside. You have Thomas. You have Landry. You have Olave. So it's not like they're clamped on Kamara coming out of the backfield for catches. Like you can get him the ball. Yeah. I'm hoping this next week that they really try to force that in the game plan, and hopefully they do for all of us Kamara owners out there. I have him in both my leagues. So
well, staying on Kamara, I mean, my question is, he's not looking great right now. Is Kamara going to be on the downswing? Is this the year where possibly he might hit a wall?
I don't think so, because he's still, whenever he gets the ball, he still looks good running the ball and moving around and shit. It's just about how they're using him right now. They're just not using him the right way at all. No. And Mark Ingram vultured like a 4-yard touchdown from 2. That doesn't help anything. But I'm thinking they're 1-2 now. He's probably their best player, arguably, on offense.
Easily.
Yeah, so, I mean, you got to get your best guys the ball, bottom line.
You got to figure out creative ways to get him the ball. Yeah. At some point, Pete Carmichael's going to get in the lab, and he's going to start watching film and be like, okay, we got to figure out a way to get him the ball in open space.
We know how
you have to do
this guy
something.
Can be.
Like, if we want to win games, this guy's going to be the reason why. It's not going to be because Jameis throws the ball 50 times or we're running him up the middle. Like, we got to find a way to get him the ball in open space. So I think it's going to improve at some point.
Well, because Jameis has been trying to air it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after week 1, he might have got a little too confident.
Who do the Saints play this week?
They play the Vikings in London.
But Jameis's whole career, I mean, last year when they were good, when they won with Jameis, they weren't airing it out.
No.
And now it's Jameis has started trying to take the throne of that. He's a fucking elite, air raid quarterback. And it's like, dude, don't just play. Go, Jameis, go watch Cooper Rush's tape. Be smart with the ball. Check it down.
Go be a top 10 quarterback.
Don't try to fucking air it every goddamn play. It doesn't work unless you're Mahomes or Herbert or Allen or one of these great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like you can't do this. Especially when you have a defense that's going to back you up.
I think my bold take of Jameis Winston as an MVP candidate is down the shitter.
Yeah, it's not sitting too well.
No, I think that one's long gone.
Honestly, if I'm the Saints, I'm trying to find a way to go see a doctor that's like, Jameis, hey, you shouldn't play with your 4 or 5 broken vertebrae. Take a break.
Because it's Jameis that's like, I'm in.
Of course.
Like, keep me in.
And it's just like that way you have an excuse to let him sit and rest and then give Dalton a shot for a week or 2 and see if it works better with Dalton.
I mean, I think there's a real argument to be made here that the offense could be more effective with Andy Dalton at the helm.
It probably would.
I think there's a real argument to that.
Just get the ball to the playmakers. Like, it's all you got to do. Like, they have. That's
Don't
the thing.
do too much.
They've got a great receiving core now.
Yeah.
Like, just get the ball to the guys.
We don't need you to be our Superman. Like,
No.
that's not what you need to be here.
Pete Carmichael needs to step up.
Yeah.
He needs to create a more creative game plan.
And
for
now
them to be
Sean
that we
Payton's
look
ghost
back on
coaching.
this, like I think there's a legitimate reason that Pete Carmichael has been the OC for 16 years and that he never even got looked at as a head because he was never even a guy that was like in the coaching like
No,
rumors
you've
of
never
getting
even
hired.
heard about
And
him.
you think a guy that's center Sean Payton for 16 seasons would be extremely sought after.
Sean Payton's guy.
There's a reason this guy's still the OC here.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, never even looked at.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. All right, and then
There's
with the
an issue there.
Yeah, there's something not clicking.
yeah, and then with the Saints, with the Panthers, congratulations, Matt Rule. You keep your job for another week, I guess.
Is there any chance the Panthers could maybe scrap and claw for the 7 seed?
I think there's
a chance.
Their defense doesn't look bad.
They've been competitive in all these games. Like,
yeah, they have.
Well, I mean, they've played who?
the Giants,
The Browns, the Giants,
Giants.
and the Saints. Like, granted, I think
Their
they
schedule's about to get
I don't
hard.
think the Browns are. They're middle of the
Yeah,
pack.
Browns
They're
aren't a
they're like
pushover right
solid
now.
team. They're not a pushover.
I mean, actually, and they only lost to the Browns. They lost.
They lost to the Browns by a fucking 58-yard field goal. The fuck that guy hit.
And they lost to the Giants by 3. So
Well, let's take a look at their upcoming schedule here. That'd probably give us a good gauge on it.
they're another team. They need to start passing the ball to McCaffrey. Like, what are they? Like, I get it.
You get your best players the ball. I feel like all these teams that have these elite running backs, we saw these running backs last year get fed in the passing game.
Yeah.
Are teams just shying away from it now?
Well, that's McCaffrey.
It's proven to be effective
Like,
the past few years.
What is McCaffrey's
majorly.
best attribute? Just like Kamara,
Is get him the
pass
ball
catching.
in space, let him fucking razzle and dazzle.
I think
they're not doing.
He's not a fucking just run up the gut,
No.
which
I
is how
think
they're
it's-
using
I
him. He
feel like
can,
it's-
but it's not how you use him the
I
best.
feel like it's more so the quarterbacks than the actual coaching because you can only call so many halfback screens.
But even like with Baker when he was on Cleveland, Hunt still got they still passed to Hunt a lot, right? So he still incorporated
Chubb
the
was
RBs
still
in the
good.
passing game.
yeah, but I don't think Baker was actually worried about his job back then.
Oh yeah, actually. So listen to this. This Panthers are 1-2 right now. Upcoming on their slate, they got Cardinals, they got Niners, Rams, Bucs, Falcons, Bengals, and then Ravens.
They'll be lucky to win 2 of those.
yeah,
games.
they're gonna
Yeah,
end up probably
Jesus.
5-11,
Yeah.
and Matt Rule or 5-13.
Matt Rule's gone
Matt-
before the season
or no,
ends. I
yeah.
will say that
5-12.
now.
Matt Rule's gone.
And he's hired by Nebraska also
Yeah,
for the
could
season ends.
go back to college, bud.
Yeah, he got his money. You're
Yeah.
good.
All right, next game. Jags at Chargers. Biggest.
How about
most
the
surprising-
Jags,
yeah.
baby?
Jags win 38-10. The Jags cover the
Dougie
6.5.
P.
Jags look good.
Jags look
Jags look
awesome.
good.
I was wrong on the
defense
Jags.
looks good. The
Has Trayvon
defense
Walker
looks
been pretty
sound.
solid?
Yeah.
He's been good, too.
Josh
He's been
Allen
really
looks
good.
great. Devin Lloyd, the rookie, has been leading them in tackles.
They got a steal with that Devin Lloyd
They
guy.
did. I mean, the offense is. James Robinson is just balling.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk's eating. Trevor Lawrence looks like Trevor Lawrence.
What he was supposed to be.
This team looks like if you could have picked the most the best, the most what's the word?
Opportunistic.
Optimistic outlook for the Jags. It's this offense is humming. Your young defenders your young rookie and second year defenders are playing out of their shoes right now. This is the most optimistic outlook I think anyone could have had. And even this week, I know they're still +6 or 7 against the Eagles, but I think everyone expects that to be a pretty close game.
The Chargers.
They just beat the brakes off them.
And if it's not for Wentz hitting 2 lucky-ass bombs week 1, they're 3-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a real chance to win this division.
They've dominated the last 2 games. 24-0 and 38-10.
Well, and the offense is balanced, too. They're running the
Yes.
hell out of the ball. They're running it effectively, and Lawrence is dicing them up in the pass game.
Can we also just give a shout out to James Robinson?
Yeah.
I've been saying this. I think he's the most disrespected running back in the league.
Yep.
For him to come off an Achilles injury and do what he's doing right now is fucking insane.
Yep.
And everyone that thought that Travis Etienne was this fantasy gold player.
You were right
out
about
there,
that one.
It's James is obviously the better player. James Robinson, I think, has made a case that he's a top 5 RB in this league.
I think everyone's only question
he's a fucking beast.
I think
awesome.
I think everyone's only question was like, he's going to come back from his Achilles okay, and he has.
Well, I think another big question was what's the role?
That guy's got a chip on his
Yeah.
shoulder.
Like what is Etienne's role going to be? Is Etienne going to be the RB1? Is Robinson going to be the RB1?
Has Etienne, like, I haven't really watched him much. Has he looked good out there?
He looks solid when he gets the ball, but I mean, the problem is just that James Robinson's such a much better runner between the tackles, which is what Doug Peterson.
And
Robinson's got that burst too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he had that 50-yard, 60-yard run this past
his
week.
acceleration looks like it hadn't missed a beat since
And
the
he's a
Achilles
fucking
injury.
bruiser. Like, he can ground and pound.
I just hope it works out better for him than it did for like Alfred Morris, like to where he gets fucked.
And that's
Unfortunately,
That's what he's staring down the barrel.
I know.
Yeah.
I think that's the most sad case in the NFL.
because he hasn't gotten paid yet, like not even close.
Well, and he won't be for another year. So.
Yeah, he's got to for sure have another
I'm sorry, Alfred Morris. That's so sad.
He has to for
An
sure.
an all pro for like 2 years, gets a 1 year, like $2 million deal,
And then just terrible.
probably made like $5 million in the NFL, and he's like a 3-time Pro Bowl running back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what sucks.
Like a high school coach now.
Yeah, that. Oh god.
It's like James Robinson has to be this for the next year and next year in order to really get money. Yeah. Like that's what really sucks because the way they
that's just
devalue
the reality of being
backs.
a running back in today's NFL. And I think I mentioned this to you the other day, but I saw on The Herd, he was mentioning how he has a buddy that was saying that all of these like college athletes and shit, like none of them want to be running backs anymore. They all want to be quarterbacks or receivers. So he was also saying too how he was correlating it to like NFL teams are obviously it's turning into a passing league, but every team has at least like 3 or 4 really good receivers. And cornerbacks now, like a team has maybe 1 or 2 good cornerbacks. And so the league, we're just going to start to see this even more to where it's going to be so damn pass heavy to where like, do you think it ever gets to a point, like obviously not where running backs extinct, but to where running back is just like
the good running
backs. Like we're almost like viewing them not even as an RB, but as just like an athlete, like they list in like high school rankings.
I mean, it wouldn't shock. I think
you see more Debo's and Curtis Samuels.
Yeah, and like what Kamara started a few years ago, McCaffrey's turned into that. Like,
I mean, it's lucky trending more just to a positionless league.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of tight ends are wide receivers.
NBA, like,
you got wide receivers playing running back now.
Yeah,
I mean,
even on
get
defense,
your best players the ball in space. Like that's what it's all about.
The thing is, the running back is a position where you can save money. Like it's been proven that you can just get guys.
No reason to pay your running back.
Exactly. I mean, the way that like the Eagles have done it is perfect. Like you have Miles Sanders, you got 3 solid backs. You got Miles Sanders, Gainwell, and Boston Scott, and we're back. It was a weak clap.
Give one more.
There we go.
There you go.
All right. Next game up, Packers at Bucs. Packers win 14-12. Packers cover the 1.5. I mean, I think it's just defensive battle. I think the Bucs are going to be okay. They were undermanned.
Yeah, game. I'm not worried about the Bucs at all.
No. I mean, Brady still looks like Brady.
Yeah.
And
It was weird to see him, though. The delay of game on the 2-point conversion, that is very un-Brady-like.
Oh, Brady was so pissed, too.
Yeah, he's losing.
He was getting mad. Dude, he's been getting mad a lot. I think this might be his last year.
I think
he's been getting pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, I think
he's got all his stuff going on behind the scenes. We don't know what the hell that is, so.
I think Giselle was mad he didn't stay home for the family so he could take the boys to soccer games.
That's right.
What are you looking at?
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Packers will be solid. Bucs will be okay once they get their guys back.
Yeah.
I mean,
I still think if you're a Pack, like I'm not that. I don't like that game if you're a Packers fan. Like offense was inept in the second half.
Yeah.
Like that you should like the Bucs were so shorthanded, and you still came to a 2-point conversion to win that game. Like I know you're playing on the road in Tampa. With win's a win. But his number one receiver is Russell Gage. You can't and for how they played, like Brady literally they got a field goal on their opening drive and then just did absolutely nothing the entire game. Looked awful on offense, and then to be able to still be like a 2-point conversion away from going to overtime, I think that's a little disconcerting if you're a Packers
Now, do you
fan.
think that's more a recipe of how good the Bucs defense is or of the Packers offense?
I think it's both.
I think it's a combination of both.
I really think. I mean, I think we all were expecting the first 5-6 weeks of this season for the Packers offense to not be great.
Slow.
It's going to take some time.
It looked great in that first half. I mean, those 2 touchdown drives. I mean, they were. I mean, just boom, 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 down the field, and then it just went done.
I mean, that Bucs defense is still so good, and the Packers' weapons are so inexperienced. It's like I'm not like, and the fact that they got a win down there, they have a history of going down to Florida, and especially in September, and losing these games. So good for them. They won it. It's week 3. Like it's a good win to have. And I think you move on. I don't think there's really. I mean, you would like to score more than 14 points, of course, but like.
Well, they've only scored 3 points in all the second halves this year combined.
Jeez.
In 3 games, the Packers have only scored 3 points in the second half. That is not okay.
But
you
but
can't do that.
You know that's not going to sustain. Like it's not going.
No, but that's still concerning. Like that's not exactly what you want to see.
No, but I just feel like you give these guys more time, and it's going to be different. In 6 weeks.
I really think that I'm leaning more towards Romeo Doubs, but I think Hemmer Watson.
Dubs look great.
Yeah. One of them is going to emerge because Aaron's like most of his career. It's always been he has one guy. He is a favorite that he feeds, and I would love to see Dubs emerge as that guy.
Yeah, I mean that was a good step in the right direction. I mean he played great, 8 catches, 70 yards, touchdown. Like got him the ball.
Let me ask you all this: with a fully healthy Bucs roster, are they the favorites right now in the NFC?
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That's what I think
Eagles.
too. Yeah. I don't see a world to where they're not the favorite if they have all their receivers healthy.
I mean, I think you can maybe still make a case that the Eagles right now are still the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's like once you get into December and January, it's like, do I trust
Brady?
They
got Bees in there now, too.
Yeah, they got the sauce, baby.
Did you see apparently, I think Brady or Bees, one of them said, but it's like I feel like I've been playing with this guy for like 20 years.
It's because he has been.
That's just
Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. He has been.
A light version.
Literally,
he's got now. That's just like that. That's a dream pairing, Tom Brady and Cole Beasley.
Oh, yeah. It's like Hunter Renfrow. Like,
but also, too, it's like
fits perfectly.
How did it take Cole Beasley this long to get signed? He caught like 85 balls last year.
I think he was waiting to go to the right spot. There were multiple teams reaching out.
So it was probably they're all from the minimum, but he didn't want to go to like the Bears.
I think that the Giants, Bears, Titans, like they offered him, and I think he was just waiting to get the right one.
Yeah.
Especially because he was on the Bills last he played, so he was like, okay, I'm not going to go take some shit-ass job.
I don't want to go to the Seattle.
Yeah, he wants to be a part of a winning culture.
Yeah.
Good for Beasley. I love that for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's too much to discuss with this game. It is what it is. Yeah. That's what we thought. All right, Rams at Cardinals. Rams win 20-12. Rams cover the 3.5. The Cardinals is just – their offense just does not look good.
No.
I mean, I feel like they're another team like the Titans and like the Raiders to where their personnel just sucks. Their coach sucks. It's all Kyler.
Bad.
Like they're going to go as far as Kyler takes them. And like you're going to have some weeks to where Kyler
until Nuke gets back, baby.
I mean, Nuke's definitely going to boost them, but you're going to have some weeks to
I feel like their offense is playing right. It's literally like their offense is like, all right, guys, go run. Kyler, fucking do something.
Well, okay. I don't. As a team perspective, I don't see this team doing anything.
It's just a bad game.
Like Nuke's going to help them
with
sure,
how that offensive played out. Marquise Brown had 14 catches.
Yeah,
so
he had like 18 targets.
Yeah, like I mean, they literally just got into the mode of like do stuff Kyler and throw it to Marquise Brown. So with that like aspect, Nuke's going to help a ton because not only is like take the pressure off Marquise Brown. Nuke's going to be getting all the attention, and then Marquise Brown's going to be able to eat and not, have all the attention on him the whole time. So I think that's going to get them going. The only thing is that we've seen them the past couple of years. They always start out hot and tank the second half of the season. So if they continue that trend, it's going to be rough.
Once this new Call of Duty comes out, Kyler's
that's
going
right.
down.
Modern Warfare is coming out soon, so they're in trouble.
Good luck. But yeah, until they get more talent around Kyler on both sides of the ball, like Kyler's not the problem here.
Their defense is bad.
Yeah, and their O-line's bad. I mean, outside of Hollywood Brown right now, they have no actual threats. I mean, they have an old Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz is still adequate.
Dortch or whatever.
Yeah.
Andy Isabella.
I also think the Rams should have won this game at more than 8 points.
AJ
they should have scored more than 20
Definitely.
points.
No, they should have won by more. And that's where, like, I'm still concerned with the Rams.
Well, they had Cam Akers, fumbled on the goal line.
Yeah.
So that would have been a touchdown.
I'm concerned because Van Jefferson's out for the year. And, I mean, Allen Robinson just looks like he shouldn't be on an NFL roster.
Yeah, I think we were wrong about that one.
Yeah, we'll take the hit for that one. He's not looking like a good player, fantasy or real world.
They should get Odell back, honestly.
Yeah, they're going to need him. Yeah. Because in this Rams offense, it's like if you don't have another weapon next to Kupp, you're really limited.
Yeah.
I
mean, they did great last year without Odell, and then Odell got there, and they did even better.
Yeah. But even then, they had Robert Woods, and then when he had them, they still had Van
they had
Jefferson.
Bob Woods. Yeah.
Jefferson's he's a good player. I mean, because outside, who's their third? Skronik.
Oh yeah.
Skronik.
Brandon Powell.
Yeah. So I mean, if A-Rob ain't showing up, it's Cooper Kupp or nothing.
Higbee.
Passing it. And that's why
Higbee's great.
And that's why Higbee's been eaten right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't really have options.
Tight end 1, baby.
And I mean, their O-line's not good enough to where they can just run the ball down your throat.
No.
The defense is good. It's not great.
They have holes,
Yes.
but they've got such talent.
But I don't think Bobby Wagner is
No.
Bobby Wagner anymore.
No.
I think he's still good, but I don't think he's a game-changing player at this point in his career.
Well, and is Jalen Ramsey still like an elite corner?
Yes.
I mean, the guy got torched week 1. Marquise Brown just ate
I think
on
Jalen
him.
Ramsey still is.
I think he's still.
It's just when you look at the whole rest of the landscape of their secondary, it's nothing. It's a bunch of shit stains. So it's like all Ramsey is if Donald is getting double teamed, triple teamed, or whatever, and then you have Ramsey locked up, it's like the rest of the defense. It's like take your jabs at him. Like
I mean, they played 3 games. Stephon Diggs.
They need to get Wade Phillips back.
They
man.
do need to get Wade back. I mean, Diggs ate on Ramsey. Drake London had no problem against Ramsey.
I don't think he wasn't shadowing the last couple games.
I know, but they their number 1 receivers, which Ramsey's
I think
taking.
Ramsey. I don't think
he's shadowing in those games though.
I'm still putting all of my faith into Ramsey being a lockdown.
I think he's still a great corner, but I don't know if he's still that guy that it's like.
I mean, I don't
can't
think
throw to his side of the field.
I don't think you could say that based on just a handful of games. I mean, we've seen Jalen Ramsey the past
I also don't think
5
he's been
years
shadowing
been
guys
the
last
best
couple games
corner in
either.
the league.
No doubt. No, I just don't know if he's still the guy where it's like, don't even throw near him. Like, because that was his MO. It's like, don't even throw at him. Like,
but
people are throwing
the
at
way
him.
the offenses move guys around now. It's like no cornerback's going to be that good anymore. It's not like back when like Darrelle Reeves was like they didn't put guys in motion and you were just Darrelle Reeves like go get him. Like now they
Bengals weren't throwing at Sauce Gardner.
But also too,
Sauce
it's
Gardner
like
was locking Jamar
the receivers
the hell
they
down.
faced. He had Stephon Diggs week 1. That's tough. I mean,
that was a bad on him on that long touchdown. That was bad.
That was bad. But even if you're like a top tier elite cornerback, if you're facing an elite wide receiver in 1-on-1 coverage, the receiver's going to beat you a few more times.
The receivers are better athletes.
They're better athletes. They have the whole field to work with, especially when you got a good quarterback throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about Rams. I'm worried about.
I mean, I'm much more worried about their defense, but I don't know if his presence is still the same as it was 2 years ago, which I think.
But I think also 2 years ago, right? They had John Johnson, they had Troy Hill, right?
Yeah, Troy Hill.
They had other good pieces there to complement them, and now it's the Jalen Ramsey show in the secondary.
I think they have Troy Hill.
They
brought him back. He was with the Browns last, and they traded.
So they had
him
John Johnson. They had another corner too, right? Or safety or someone.
Eric Weddle came back last year.
He did.
Who is this?
I know you're talking.
They had John Johnson. They had 2 years ago, who's really good.
They had a safety.
John Johnson, I think, was the safety.
I'm thinking of another.
They had another young safety.
They had another cornerback. They lost him this offseason. Who the fuck was it?
I can't remember.
Levi Wallace?
No,
he's on the Bills.
I fucking talked about him in one of these videos. What the fuck was his name? I don't know. They lost a cornerback that was pretty good though. I think it was their slot, whoever their slot was.
Yeah.
Oh, Roby Coleman?
No.
Hold on. I actually.
They had to keep the lead.
They had
the nose.
Hold on. I fucking talked about him in one of these reels. Hold on. Let me find this reel real quick.
Let's just see.
Darius Williams.
There we go.
Yeah. Darius Williams. He wasn't great, but he was a good number 2 corner.
Yeah.
It's like an Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown's not lighting anyone's socks on fire.
Anthony Brown's pretty
Pull
good.
that from Brophy.
Anthony lighting your socks on fire. Anthony Brown's pretty good though. I'm not saying.
Right,
I mean,
we'll talk about.
I'm
Anthony
not saying
Brown
Darius
here a
Williams
bit.
is like a game changer, but like that. But whenever you have those,
they have Troy Hill now.
But Troy's a slot guy. Troy's a strict slot guy. Regardless, I mean, yeah, Ramsey's the best defensive back out there. It's not even really close, and that's make things tougher for him. But all right, next game.
Who would you take over Jalen Ramsey?
AJ Terrell,
Trevon Diggs.
I think Diggs is up there. Diggs.
Well, Diggs is limiting his big play. Now.
I mean, Marshawn Lattimore is still a dog. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore is incredible. Jair. I mean,
Jair's healthy.
I mean, who?
Denzel Ward in that conversation.
You could say Denzel. Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, he's just been hurt.
I mean, Marlon Humphrey. Like, I don't think the gap's that big between Ramsey
the
and
gap
those
is not
guys.
as big as it once was.
Yeah.
I do think some of his hype.
Sauce Gardner looks awesome.
Does he look good?
Oh, yeah. He locked down
been
Jamar
watching.
Chase this week.
He did.
Yeah. That's why Higgins and Tyler Boyd did so well.
All right, let's go to the next game. This will be quick. Falcons at Seahawks. Falcons win 27-23. Falcons cover the 2.
One of the locks of the week.
Smacked.
The only question I have is who finishes with the worst record, the Falcons or Seahawks?
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
The Falcons are competitive.
The Falcons
but
are
the
competitive.
Seahawks have been competitive. I mean, the Seahawks were right there in the Falcon game.
They got rolled by the Niners.
But the Niners roster
They didn't score one
is so much
offensive
superior
point.
versus them. I mean, they beat the Broncos.
That was a Russ.
Well, the Broncos clearly the Broncos aren't as good as we thought they were.
The Broncos' offense is abysmal right now.
I mean, I think Geno Smith. I'm not saying Geno Smith's good by any stretch of the imagination.
He's better than I thought he was.
He's better than I thought he was. I think he can, if he has a clean pocket with DK and
I think
Lockett,
Geno's always been
he can make stuff happen.
We've always said Geno's a good backup.
I think the Falcons and Seahawks are like an inch or two apart. Like they're both.
The Falcons
I
have
think
been
the Falcons
competitive in
have
every
better
game.
players too. Because I mean, what do you know? Like anyone on the Seahawks defense?
They have a
Jamal Adams,
cornerback
who's
who's
out
been
for the
graded
season?
as like a top 10 corner.
Quandre Diggs.
Tariq Woolley. He's like a third. He's been actually fucking solid. Tariq Woolley.
Yeah, I mean the
They
Falcons
got Antoine
still
Woods,
have.
Big Al Woods in the middle.
That's not good. Yeah. I mean, Falcons still have AJ Terrell, Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones.
The Falcons do have a little bit more talent.
I think they're
but
better personnel wise. I think they're better coached. I mean, you can say what you want about Pete, but I don't know what that.
I guess it comes down to like, do you like Mariota or you like Geno more?
Yeah.
Which I mean, Mariota.
I mean, in this
Mariota,
situation,
Mariota's when he's healthy has not been like that bad.
No, Mariota's
he's just never been healthy.
Player.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're both. I think they're both teams. And I'll say it right now, I was completely wrong on the Falcons. I thought they were going to get steamrolled most games. They're proven that they're gonna fight. They're gonna be competitive. They're scrappy.
Yeah.
Oh, they almost came back and beat the fucking Rams.
And Drake London looks like a bona fide number one.
Drake London looks
Him
great.
and
Kyle
Pitts,
Pitts, they're going to get him
Kyle
more
Pitts.
involved.
Cordell
Patterson's top 5 in
Cordel's
rushing
still a
right
beast.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, who the fuck would have thought that?
Yeah.
Yeah, competitive. Couple of scrappy ball clubs.
They also are in a much easier division. They're going to get the Panthers twice. They
Yeah.
got the Saints again.
Falcons are kind of a fun team to watch.
They are.
They are.
Seahawks are like kind of fun too to watch.
I mean, you got DK and Lockett. Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot more fun to watch than I would have thought coming into the season.
I'd rather watch them than the Bears. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
That's for
Yeah.
goddamn sure.
Yeah.
I think the only I feel like them and the Texans are and honestly and the Patriots are the 3 most unwatchable teams.
Yeah.
The Patriots now have Brian Hoyer, so it's going to be
Is that how long
rough.
is Mac out?
If it's a high
couple
ankle
weeks
sprain,
at least.
yeah, it's
Oh,
a high ankle
it
sprain.
is.
Yeah,
It's out
he's
for at least
gone
a
for at
couple.
least a couple weeks.
Good luck, Pats.
Yeah.
Good luck, Charlie.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, 49ers at Broncos. Real barn burner. Broncos win 11-10.
God, that
They
was such a
cover.
boring
That
game.
game was awful.
That was such a boring
I mean,
game.
is Russ just not as good as we thought he was? I mean,
No, I don't think that.
I think Russ showed in his last drive. He still got it.
He did. I think the biggest thing with Russ, he's got to use his legs more.
Yeah.
I think the
And he
first
did
few
at the end of
games,
the game.
and especially late in Seattle career too, he's kind of tried to adopt this mindset if he wants to be a Rodgers or a Brady, where he's just going to sit in the pocket and pick and choose. But that's never been what's made Russ great. What's made Russ great is his off-script scrambling, his off-script magic. And like we saw that one play, he had I forgot who I think he shoved to the running back, but he was getting sacked and he like just shoveled it and they get like 30, 40 yards. Like that's Russ. That's why you pay Russ that money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pay him that money to sit back in the pocket and throw darts, You pay him to use his legs, which I think now that he's starting to realize that he's going to have to use his legs a little bit more if they want to be fully effective.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the state of the NFC West, I still think the NFC West is probably still the best division in the league, but they're nowhere near as dominant as we thought they were going to be. I mean, the Chargers are 1-2. They just got steamrolled by the Jags. The Raiders look like a tire fire. I mean, the Broncos have looked like shit, but they're still 2-1.
Yeah.
They just beat San Fran, who's a good team. So, they're going to be fine. They'll figure it out. Russ will get better.
They can only go up.
Yeah. I mean, the offense looks awful.
Well, they hired that advisor to apparently come help out Hackett. Which, I mean, good for Hackett. He
At
at
least
least
he
acknowledged it, and
He
he's like, you know what,
acknowledged,
I may be getting a little overwhelmed, so have some guy come in. I'll solely handle the play calling. You can help me out with the in-game head coach stuff. I mean, I feel like a lot of coordinators nowadays would probably just push that. I'm like, no, I got this. But
Yeah,
he was man enough to admit it.
Self-aware.
Yeah, and be like, you know what, I could use help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I'd like to see. I mean, because Russ looked good for definitely a couple plays in that last drive, but for the totality of the games that he's played so far,
It's been terrible.
He's been awful. Like,
Yeah.
and you'd expect him to be better, especially for someone that just got paid the money that he was. Like, he's supposed to make these guys around him better. He's not supposed to be the reason. He's not supposed to be missing passes, and it's not. They're not because of communication or anything. At least for the most part, from what it seems like, a lot of these are just bad throws.
I think the Broncos are still going to make the playoffs. I think they're still.
Their defense is what's going to allow them to do that.
Their defense is fucking
incredible.
legit.
Yeah.
I mean, Bradley Chubb's starting to come alive. They got
Gregory looks great.
They got DJ Jones, who's a monster inside.
Pat Surtain.
Arguably the best secondary in the league. I mean, their defense is loaded.
Yeah.
Like, that defense alone is going to keep you in ball games. So if Russ can just, figure it out, make his throws here, be creative.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be – I think they only have room to grow. They can only go up from here.
And I think Niners on the other side of the coin, like, I think they're going to be fine. Like, I think Jimmy G, first game.
He has these games.
Let's let him get him back in, get him some reps. Like, I think the Niners are going to be fine. Team's great.
My only
Kittle's
thing with
gonna
the
get
Niners
back
is,
to
like,
normal.
we know what they are. We know their ceiling.
But what they are is just – I mean, they can be unstoppable.
They
at
lost
times.
Trent Williams.
Not for the season.
No.
He's out for a good chunk.
He's out for a month.
And I mean, their running game it's been good, but it's not like vintage 49er run game. The defense is great. The defense is legit. We all know that. Ward has been a great addition to the secondary. The D line's been.
I think they're
havoc.
missing Mike McDaniel a little bit.
They might be, man.
I mean, the offense doesn't look as creative. I know it's still Kyle Shanahan. I'm not taking anything away from Kyle Shanahan, but some of that creativity and spark in that offense, I think, left to Miami.
Was probably a wrinkle to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, with all that being said, do you think there's any part of him that wishes Lance was out there instead of Jimmy G?
No.
From like, are we saying from like the 49ers? Which perspective from the fans?
I guess in a game,
GM.
I guess
like,
just in a game like this where it's like Jimmy G doesn't look great and like. Yes, he was a good defense, but like, would you rather have Lance out there in a game like this, where at least he gives you the option to run?
I mean, I don't know. It's tough because
I'd rather have
we still don't know we have no idea what Lance is. I think the team wishes Lance was still there, obviously, to unlock and see what they have in him.
Yeah.
But like you said, Jimmy's gonna have these games.
Well, it's first
and
game
he's not
back
a great regular season
on the road in
he's
Denver.
Clutch. That's what matters.
Playing in Denver's arguably the hardest spot to play.
Yeah.
First game as the starter, it was gonna be rocky. Like you knew it wasn't gonna be like Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, Jeff Wilson touchdown. Like playing a great defense, like that game was gonna be a rocky slugfest.
Yeah.
So I think Niners are gonna be fine. Honestly, the Niners are still favored this week against the Rams by 2.5 to 3.
Yep.
I think the Niners are still going to, push for the division. I think they'll make the playoffs with ease, and they'll probably win a playoff game. I think they'll still be what they were.
My only thing with that, though, how you mentioned Lance, is if I'm a Niners fan, I wish Lance was still in because of the potential upside.
Yeah.
To where I think, we know, I don't think Jimmy G is ever going to win a Super Bowl.
No.
I love Jimmy G. He's been shit on for a lot of his career, but I don't think he's the guy that's going to take him there. And
the team's going to have to.
And with Lance could have been that guy to where he can make up for this O-lineman being out, this guy on defense being out, losing Mike McDaniel.
But yes, possible.
But he's the guy that could have gotten you over that hump.
And he at least offers some sort of, another asset with his running ability.
Yeah, that's a whole different dimension.
I almost wonder, it's like we've seen the Saints with Taysom Hill in there, right? And special package design plays. What if San Fran went out and got, not Taysom Hill, but a guy
Tyler
like
Huntley.
Taysom Hill. Like a Huntley, to where you bring him in for
Huntley was
10,
good
11
last year.
maybe
Cam Newton.
Maybe 6 to 10 plays a game. You have goal line. I wonder why a lot of teams don't do that. They're limited at the quarterback position to not bring in a guy to maybe get in 6 to 8 plays a game, specifically red zone packages.
Yeah.
To kind of open up the offense.
For the Saints
it's been super effective.
I feel like
I don't know why we haven't seen more teams do that.
I just
don't think there's that many quarterbacks like that is the thing.
But I also think that it does sometimes
Cam probably.
I feel like sometimes it can throw an offense out of its rhythm though.
Yeah, especially when you don't have much game film on them. You don't know how the team's going to use them, especially in the red zone, because nowadays too, it's like the red zone is so hard to score in.
Yeah.
If you have a good it doesn't matter if you can move the ball, great, but if you have a efficient red zone offense,
if you have a running quarterback, the red zone's so much easier.
Philly's proving it right now.
Yep.
Ravens.
Baltimore
gets inside the 20 and it's okay, touchdown.
Yeah.
You
that
can't
makes all
stop
the difference if you have 3 red zone drives and 1 field goal, 2 touchdowns versus 3. Like, that's everything there.
Absolutely.
All right, that wraps up that one, and I'm sure this will be a nice little fun discussion. Cowboys at Giants. Cowboys win 23-16.
Let's go, baby.
We're back.
Cowboys
Let's go.
cover the 2.5.
About that pass rush.
Speaking of that pass rush, is this
Woo!
the best pass rush in the league in Dallas?
So far.
Just is it?
I mean,
no, I don't want to go so
effect.
far. Is it?
We were leading the league in sacks.
And pressures.
Yeah.
And,
22
all the
last
credit
night?
goes to Micah Parsons. Like,
Yep.
D-Law had 3 sacks.
D-Law looked great.
Dorrance
Quinn.
Armstrong had another sack or 2. I know Micah didn't have any sacks, but like
His presence is
all
like,
of this
out of this
happens
world.
because Micah's
No doubt.
presence is on the field.
Yeah.
Like, D-Law's not getting 3 sacks, maybe not even
No.
1 sack if Micah's not out
It's easy when Evan Neal's just whiffing.
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
But
I mean, Micah creates
Well, and you
everything.
got a all-pro corner in the back end who's always lurking to pick the ball off. Like, the defense complements itself so well. The pass rush with, like, ball hawk players in the secondary.
Yeah.
Like, it meshes perfectly.
Well, the safeties have been good. Malik Hooker, dude.
Malik Hooker's been great.
And he's always been a guy. If he can stay healthy, he's great.
Javon Kirst, awesome.
Is he still? He's still hurt, isn't he?
Is he? I know he played week 2.
I think he's hurt. Yeah, but we're still waiting to get him back.
either way,
Anthony Barr's looking pretty decent too. Jabril Cox still has yet to play.
either way, Dan Quinn is just he's great, man.
I mean, we know he's a defensive guy. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Dan Quinn's doing a hell of a job. I mean, some of the packages he drew up last night, some of the I mean, even though it was kind of easy, just like, hey, just blitz last night is kind of what definitely.
And from the Giants side too, like we were talking about this, like Daniel Jones didn't look bad.
He extended a lot of plays.
He was the only
did.
reason we were honestly in that game.
If you were to
Extended
swap
play.
Jimmy G for Daniel Jones in that game, we would have had like 10 sacks.
Oh, no doubt.
Like Daniel Jones made a lot happen. Like I kind of feel bad for him in that game because he did nothing particularly wrong.
There's
It's just
nobody out
literally
there.
every play
They
you got
is blown up.
pressurized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every fucking
there's
play.
still the factor at the end of the game when we punted that ball with a minute 45.
They should have ran the ball.
Well, yes, I was pissed. But like when you punted that ball, Giants have the ball, no timeouts, a $140 on their own 10-yard line. It's like
Game's over.
Game
Yeah,
over.
I mean,
Daniel's.
yeah.
I remember I called you and I was like, "Thank God we're not playing Tom Brady right now,
Yeah.
because we would lose."
Yeah,
but
Daniel
we're playing
Jones back
Daniel
there.
Jones. Like it's fine.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, that's just the Daniel Jones effect. It's
Yeah.
like when it gets down to that
One
point in the game,
O-line,
the O-line
Shepard
coupled.
pops his
The
ACL.
the weapons are also just.
I feel
shit.
so bad for Sterling Shepard.
He's
Man.
That sucks.
He's never and that look.
He's a great receiver.
He
a good
is,
player,
dude.
man.
And he wasn't even sprinting. He was jogging. when
Yeah, that
thing
was just
popped.
weird.
Oh,
He
that
was almost like
oh
walking.
God, that looked so fucking painful.
I think it boils down to, like, this is a
didn't even
rebuild.
cut.
I mean, it just.
No, he was literally just jogging a straight line.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, as a Giants fan, like, I was even like, question was popped in my head, like, can this team for some reason like somehow make the playoffs? And it's like it just, this goes back to realization. This is-
Reality check.
This is a rebuilding year. The roster sucks. Like it's
Yeah,
just
now
it's
let's
it
see
is
how
what it-
Dable responds to it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I mean, my
you
question.
have the Bears next week.
Yeah, I'm
It's
picking.
very winnable.
Yeah, we should, but like now after like last night's game, I'm just like Jesus. Like it was everything that the Giants have in the last couple of years. Just fucking bad offensive line, bad run
I
defense.
mean, the O-line's been the root of the problem. The O-line's been so bad for so long.
I mean, Thomas has been great, but like everyone else is
outside
just
of that, I mean,
outside
Evan
of that.
Neal just got obliterated.
Evan Neal got destroyed.
Yeah,
I mean,
Neal
I'm
couldn't
just-
really run the ball.
I mean, at this point, like I'm just hoping that Evan Neal shows progression, Thibodeau shows progression.
Thibodeau didn't do anything.
Thibodeau didn't do. They didn't say his name once. He had that
He
batted
didn't.
down
Yeah, he
pass,
had a
and that was
tip,
it.
and that was it.
Yeah.
That was literally it. So I just want to see. Some,
Ojulari back for y'all?
yeah, he drew like a couple holding penalties, but he didn't do anything last night. Besides that,
The best thing with the Cowboys defense, though, to me, is like obviously the D-line's great, fantastic with pass rush, but the secondary, have we allowed one play over like 40 yards? Because usually I feel like that's the thing. There's usually a play or two every game to where Anthony Brown got burned again.
Yeah.
Trayvon, but the
Trayvon went for the
secondary
pick.
has been holding everything in.
Yep.
Like we have not gotten burned for big plays, which is huge. When you have a pass rush like that and you can limit chunk plays, like you're going to be a hard team to beat.
Looks incredible.
well, you're
Yes.
also
And that's
allowing
carrying us.
you're also allowing the defensive backs to cover for 3, 4, 5 seconds instead of 8, 9, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's huge. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, they look a competitive team. I think how much credit do y'all give Mike McCarthy for this?
A lot. I mean, like, Mike's got the guys ready to play. I think much more that week 2 win. Like, he got us fired up. We were ready to play, and we've come out and punched him in the mouth 2 games in a row. Like, say what you want about Mike McCarthy and, some of the penalties and stuff like that, but he's got our team ready to play, and they're executing well.
I think I think the players are behind him. Like I don't think anyone doesn't like Mike.
No.
Yeah. Well, y'all were shitting on him before. Like, I mean,
hey, I didn't shit him as hard.
Mike's done a good job the last 2 weeks.
One thing I've noticed too is it kind of pisses me off, but you could just tell the team plays so much harder when Dak's out.
Oh yeah,
because we have that underdog mentality to where, and then when the play calling gets more creative, Kellen Moore's pulling all these gadgets out.
Cooper Rush is also great.
Oh, he's a great backup, man.
He's a great backup.
He doesn't try bad throw.
He doesn't try and do too much.
He makes the right mistakes, and he gets rid of the ball quick.
Dude,
that's
got
the problem.
a gun.
Sometimes Dak holds on too long.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush makes his read. He's open. Cool. 4 yards. Boom. Yeah. Cool. 5 yards. Boom.
He plays within himself in the offense. He doesn't try and do too much, and that's all you need to ask for a backup quarterback.
He does what he's supposed to do.
He takes shots too. I mean, he's got a good arm.
He does.
He's accurate. He puts the ball in the right spot.
He was audible at the line
and he stretches the field. He's a good quarterback. He's not bad at all. And I mean, if CD caught that. That wide open bomb. Yeah. He finishes with 280 and 2 touchdowns on 75% completion.
That was
no
a hell
picks.
of a catch by CD in the end zone.
It was.
He made up for it.
It was a good throw too.
It was a great throw.
It's not an easy
throw.
That
that's
goal
a
line
perfect
fade.
throw.
Yeah, that was a great play.
I mean, he didn't make one bad throw last night. There wasn't one throw I was like, geez.
No, he seriously.
And usually with backups,
happen.
that's the biggest problem. It's you cannot make mistakes, which
you can't miss them.
Yeah. And also, let's give a shout out to the O-line. The O-line has looked legit these first 3 weeks.
Is playing
Tyler
great.
Smith looks like the next Tyron Smith.
Yeah, he's looking great.
Terrence Steele, I didn't think much of him.
Played well last year, though.
Yeah, he did. But, I was still wary because he was an undrafted rookie out of Texas Tech.
His rookie year, he was bad.
Yeah. But the tackles have looked great. The interior's held up. But let me ask you all this. Could Cooper Rush be a starting quarterback in this league?
I think so.
I think for he could definitely be a bridge guy.
I mean, I think he's better than Geno Smith. I think he's better than Mitchell Trubisky. I think he's better than probably Justin Fields.
So
he's better than Baker.
So he's on a 1-year deal. So let's say we win next week. He goes 3-0 this season, 4-0 total as a starter. Do you think there's a team this offseason that's going to throw him some money at all?
Could happen, but I think honestly,
not like max money,
no, I know what
but like 10 to 15 mil.
I mean,
Andy Dalton got that from the Bears a few off seasons ago, right?
I mean, he could.
He's
young, and I mean, he's played 3 games. He's 3-0. 2 have been primetime games. The other was the 3:30 slot on Sunday. He's played well in big moments, and he doesn't make mistakes, and he can make every throw.
I think he's going to show some loyalty to the Cowboys and probably take a little bit less. I mean, he'll probably get something I think Tyrod Taylor got 2 for 12 or 2 for 15 or something like that. I could see something along the lines of that.
Yeah, I could see him being a bridge guy for sure.
He'll take less to stay with the Cowboys and be a backup. And plus it's honestly, with how good he looks, he has the best job in the world. As soon as Dak comes back, he just goes to backup and just has a clipboard.
Well, I mean, the only thing that would help him, if Dak was out till week 9, and we went
5-1 or
5-1 or 4-2.
Yeah.
And he's throwing for 2 or 3 touchdowns a game, 250
Oh, he
plus
definitely
yards.
signed.
Then he's getting money.
And he's doing this without Gallup and without Schultz.
Yep.
CD's his only real weapon.
Noah Brown's look great.
Dude, Noah Brown's look great. Tony Pollard's
awesome.
Pollard, I honestly think at this point, Tony Pollard is in the conversation as a top weapon in the league.
I think he's top 10 running back.
His burst is insane.
It is.
Yeah.
His burst is absolutely
He hits the gap
insane.
great.
Yeah.
And going back to Noah Brown, I think something that's just undervalued with Noah Brown, and I think it's his ability to block.
Yeah,
because he
does
he
dirty
pops
work.
People.
No, they shift him in next to the tight end and have him actually
he's
blocking.
a big receiver.
He is
the size of a tight end, so I think that's a huge addition.
It's funny
that he brings
too, when you're watching him, there's a few times where you're like, oh, there goes CD, and it's it's actually Noah Brown.
Yeah,
that
happened to me last night.
Yeah.
But okay, real quick, I just want to ask this, but can the Giants go from 2-0 to top 5 pick? Will they? I'm sorry. Will they go from 2-0 to top 5 pick?
No, I don't think you will. You could. I don't think you will.
So top 5, if you are 5-12, are we calling that top 5?
I think so. I think this year that's probably top 5.
I think you could.
You definitely could. I would, if I'm betting, I'd say no.
If I had to guess 6-11 and we're 8th, something like that.
I think that's a likely scenario.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just the roster's just not that good, especially Sterling Shepard going down too. I mean, it's just it ain't there.
No.
All right, that sums up the Week 3 recap. Now let's move in
Bang.
to some topics, some segments. First up, we got the coach's hot seat.
Max Rose?
Hell yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Drumstick.
Drumstick.
Okay, all right. I got some coaches here. I'm going to name them off. We're going to rate how hot their seat is from 1 to 10.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
First coach up, everyone's favorite, Matt Rule. How hot's that seat?
9.5.
His ass is burning on that seat.
Yeah.
He's getting fucking second-degree burns right now.
It's
I
hot.
think that win saved him. I'm going to put him at an 8. I think before was at like for sure a 9. Or if he loses that game, it's at like 9.9.
Well, apparently too, the Panthers have an owner who's very impatient as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's the richest owner in
He
football.
did come out and give like a little like statement of support for him. I was like, we're committed to him. But I mean, like,
I thought he
this
said
is
something
what,
along the lines
his
of-
third year, his fourth year.
I thought he said something along the lines of like we're gonna like look at everything and like just like not weigh our options, but like he didn't come out and say like he is our coach. It was definitely
I thought he
something.
came out like a week
Well, I
ago
think
and
he's
said
because I
that.
mean Rivera got fired there after they made the playoffs, right?
I don't know if
Like
they
3 or 4 years ago when he got fired.
I don't know if they made the playoffs. Like
He was
that,
their
that
last.
year.
Was he their last coach, right? Ron?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Didn't they had a pretty good team that
I
year?
think
right?
did they fire him mid-season?
I don't know. I thought they had a decent record when they fired him.
I don't know, but either way, well, they had a different owner when that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, Tepper's. He bought him a year or two ago, but yeah, I think
It's damn hot.
it's damn hot.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. All right, next guy I got up, Robert Saleh.
I think he's cooling.
I think it's hot.
I don't think it's too hot. I
I
mean,
think
they're,
it's
they're
an
1
8.
and 2
I think
right
it's
now.
medium heat.
I think
And
it's a 7.
the talent's
and 8.
not there. I think once Zach Wilson comes back, then that's when it's gonna really
Well,
matter.
he's back this week, I think.
But I mean, their
so.
defense, and he's more of a defensive guy. So I mean, has their defense looked good?
It hasn't been locked down like it should. I mean, they just
I
gave
mean, it
27
should. I don't think it
points.
should be locked down though with the
I
talent.
mean, they've
on it.
invested a lot.
They
in
have.
that
They've had a lot of
defense.
draft picks in that defense. I
They
mean,
spent a lot of money on that side.
I mean, who do they have? What they have? Sauce,
Quentin Williams,
Who's the
the
DN
Florida
from
State
Florida
guy,
State?
Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson.
Do they, still have
Johnson.
do they have Demario Davis? Is he still playing?
No, he's on the Saints.
Yeah.
Oh, C.J.
Saw-
Mosley. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know if he's.
What
I
happened
think
to
they
him?
released him. I
They-
want to say they released
Is he
him.
even
Did
playing
Quentin
on the
Williams-
team?
Quentin Williams played. I don't know if I think he got hurt though. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, they've invested a lot on that defensive side, and I think last year, like you just saw Saleh, it just didn't seem like he was the guy.
He didn't have that same fire that he had as the Niners
No.
defensive coordinator.
Well, and I think too, like after this season, they're going to look at what Miami's doing right now with Tua and Mike McDaniel,
Let's go get an offensive.
and they're going to
guy.
want to get an offensive guy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just where the league's going. I
Well,
think
especially
that's what's
'cause,
gonna
like,
happen.
I personally don't see like Zach Wilson like after this year being like okay, like he's the guy.
No.
I think that especially the front office, he'd be like, okay, we got one more shot with Zach Wilson to make this thing work since we picked him
Get
so
him an
high.
offensive
So
coach.
get him an offensive guy, give him one more year, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think
they
it's
still
pretty
have
hot.
Mosley.
I'd say it's a
I'd
6.
I say 7.
Yeah, I'll say a 6.
I bet he's fired at the end of the year.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next up, Ron Rivera.
I just don't.
5.
I just don't know the
4.
direction of the Commanders. Like,
I
They
think
just
I'm.
seem to be treading water.
I'm gonna
I don't
say
like the
7.
Colts.
yeah, but they have way less talent than the Colts too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 7. I honestly think
Really?
he's fired by the end of the year.
Yeah, I'll say 7.5.
I'd say 5 just because I feel like he might get the benefit of the doubt just being a veteran coach and like them not having.
But I feel like he got the benefit of the doubt the last couple of years.
I think
honestly.
after this year, because they're a team that for the past 5 years, it's like you're expecting them to go trade up and get a QB, and they just for some reason haven't.
Yeah.
So I think the owners finally get to a point where all right, let's get rid of Wentz, let's get rid of Ron, let's
Yeah.
rebuild and
Yeah.
tear it down like a lot of these young ascending teams.
I
have
wouldn't
done.
be surprised if he's fired. at the
Yeah.
end of the
I
year.
mean, it's just like you know what he is as a coach. You know what his teams. I mean, besides that 15 in 1 year with the Panthers, like he's never really done anything exceptional.
No.
yeah.
And
Like-
the league is shying away from these old veteran coaches. They
Yeah.
want
Without
the
a
young-
doubt.
They want the
Defensive
young
guy.
boy
Yeah.
genius
Yeah.
offensive guys.
Yeah. Next up, Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh,
Hot.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
If they don't make the playoffs this year, I bet he's gone.
For sure. And they don't even make the playoffs and they have a hot start. They're not starting
I
hot
can see
this
him being
year.
a mid-season guy.
Oh, I could totally
Yeah,
see
if-
it.
I mean,
They're like,
I think he could
they're
lose
like,
his locker
They're like
room.
2-5 or something like that.
I mean, if it's not for Kyler's heroics against the Raiders, they're 0-3.
And I think Cliff, I think everyone's known Cliff's he's a coordinator.
Yeah.
I feel like he's never been a head coach guy. I feel like
No.
he's much.
I mean, when he was a head
coordinator.
coach at Tech, he had Mahomes, and we won 6 games
Yeah.
once.
And
And
then
we
he
had
had-
Patrick
and then he had-
Mahomes, and we were bad.
No, he didn't have Baker, didn't he?
He had Baker.
Yeah, he was at OU before, right?
Well, no, Baker was at Tech.
Oh yeah, that's right. And he never did anything with him.
No. Well, he got hurt and then he left.
No, I think Cliff's 8.
Well, I think everyone knows that Cliff's really not that good of a coach.
Yeah.
Like we see him against Shanahan, we see him against McVay 4 times a year, and it's like he's getting circled.
Kyler's carrying him right now.
No doubt.
Sure.
I mean, I can't believe the owner gave him an extension at the end of last year too.
Yeah.
Like
they did.
Yeah, they're just gonna eat that money.
I didn't even know they gave him an extension.
Because he's totally getting fired. I mean, unless there's a massive turnaround that none of us
they have to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I say 8, and I don't think they're making the playoffs.
No.
All right, this one's kind of early, but fuck it, Nathaniel Hackett.
I mean, it's definitely hot. I know they're 2-1, but obviously he's looked way over his head. But I mean, I think if he takes the team to the playoffs, they're going to keep him around.
I say 4 just because it's his first year.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
They're still 2-1. They'll still probably make the playoffs. Unless they miss the playoffs and it's like really bad all year, he'll get fired. I don't think that's
if he keeps up what he's doing now, then I think we're going to see adjustments. He has that new senior advisor in there or whatever.
The offense is going to improve. The defense is great. So I think that'll carry him into year 2.
I think it's 4, which is higher than it should be through your first 3 games.
No, first 3 games should be
I
like
think a 4.
You shouldn't be on the scale.
No, you should be at maybe 1 or 2, maybe.
Well, and he's 2-1, and we're saying that. That's bad.
Yeah, they just won 11-10.
Yeah,
that's such an ugly.
Hey, that's a crazy baseball game.
11. That is a crazy baseball game. 11-10. Jesus.
All right, next up, Frank Reich.
I feel like in the Colts organization, it's not high, but I think it should be higher than what it is.
I'd say a 4.
It's like take a shit off the toilet. Like Frank Reich has been hyped up for so long, but he hasn't proven anything.
No, I mean he's never been given like a real competent quarterback to work with, really.
Well, the thing is, I think he was able to buy some time with Andrew Luck. I think if it's not for Andrew Luck retiring, I think he's fired by now. Like unless Andrew Luck was great, but
I mean Andrew Luck was great. I mean,
I know.
It probably would have been amazing.
I mean, Frank Reich's just a weird situation because I feel like we don't really even know still at this point what his true potential is.
Yeah.
Because of the QB situation.
I think he's really liked in Indianapolis, too, in that front
office.
I think him and Ballard are like
and I think Chris Ballard's very conservative and patient to where he's probably going to keep
I would say
for
like
a while.
3.
I would say it's low. I think it should be higher than what it is based on Ballard, but I think it's probably low.
I think I'm gonna say it's a 5. I think there's a decent. I don't know why. I feel there's a decent chance that if this doesn't work out with Matt Ryan, that they might just I think they might fire him.
Yeah. See, I'm on the side to where I think Ballard's gonna invest in him and say, okay, let's actually go get you a real quarterback after this year.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to trade up. I mean, the thing is,
like how many times can you recycle these quarterbacks?
I mean, they've had 5 different starting quarterbacks.
But they've never had a quarterback to where you could be like, that's a fair crack at really unlocking this offense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Frank Reich hopes they get rid of Matt Ryan, then trade up and draft a quarterback because that'll only buy him even more time.
Yeah,
no doubt,
and that very well could happen.
I mean, there's this year. I mean,
Ballard's so damn conservative.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't think he won't sell the farm.
They'll probably go sign Cooper Rush or something.
I mean, that's
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll just
go trade for Jimmy G.
Yeah.
The only chance is if a quarterback falls a little bit farther in the draft and that's someone they like. And
Can you imagine if they go washed Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and then they get Jimmy G? Like that's just the most
hilarious.
mid.
That'd be comedic.
That's the most mid thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. All right, next guy up, Brandon Staley.
7, maybe higher.
You think it's that high already?
I think it's damn high for them to miss the playoffs last year with the talent they have, because I think there's immense pressure on the Chargers to do something with Herbert on his rookie contract. That is the
100%.
MO of what you do when you have a great young quarterback. Load the roster, which the Chargers have done, and go win some games.
Yeah, it's like the time
and
is
they
now.
They haven't been able to do it. And they blew it last year with all his weird stuff last year, and then the Raiders game. Yeah. They're now 1-2. There's injuries piling up. Like, AFC's loaded. There's a real chance that they don't make the playoffs this year. If they don't make the playoffs, I think he's gone for sure.
I think there's a chance to where he ends up being the beneficiary of an injury-riddled season.
I just think
I can totally see that happening.
If you're the Chargers GM and you're looking at Mike McDaniel and Tua, and you're looking at Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, and all these young quarterbacks who are nowhere near as good as Herbert, it's like, yeah, we got this defensive coach who can't get us to the playoffs. Why wouldn't you move off of him? Like, the offense is trending.
Yeah, based on what's going around the league.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is working, and you're doing exactly what's opposite, and it's not working. Like,
but
time to do something.
And the talent's more than there.
Oh, my God,
I feel like for some reason this front office likes him. I mean, I think they picked him over a handful of other guys. So it's like if this ends up being a season where they are injury riddled and it's just like they're like the Ravens last year where everyone gets fucking hurt, I could totally see them giving him the benefit
I don't
of the doubt.
know. I think
that's not what I would do personally, but I could see that.
I think if you're the Chargers, there's one, a sense of urgency to do something with Herbert, and two, you're in LA. Like you have to fight for attention in LA. You're not even the most popular football. You're the third most popular football team in LA behind USC and the Rams. Like you have to do something. You have the best player that plays football on your team in your entire city between all three of your teams, and you still can't do anything. Like, we got to do something here. So I think that plays a factor in this, too. I'm saying 7.
I'm going to say 6.
I'll say 8.
I'm closer to 8 than 6.
Yeah. All right, last one. I just put this on here for fun, but Mike McCarthy.
Oh, like a 1.
2.
I think there's no way. Jerry is. I mean, the fact that Jason Garrett stayed around as long as Jason Garrett did, with the talent there. I mean, now he's winning with Cooper Rush.
And I think Mike's shown he can do an adequate job.
And Jerry loves Mike.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Mike's going anywhere.
I think right now it's like a 2 or 3, but I honestly think he's fired after this year. I just see
really.
I just see the season taking a lot of turns. I see them not making the playoffs. Maybe finishing like 8 and 9.
I think there would have to be a meltdown for him to be fired.
I think we make the playoffs. I think our defense is just too
now.
good.
If they're now,
I could just see problems happening.
If there's another situation like last playoffs with that last play of the game where we tried to spike it or whatever, then I can see something like that happen. But bearing any catastrophic meltdown that's pointed to the coach, I think he's fine.
I say 2. I think the locker room is behind him, like you said. And I think Jerry would go to Dak and be like, "What do you think?" He's like, "No, I want him. Like he's like we play for him." So I
think
2.
they all like him.
Yeah,
I really think Jerry. I just feel like somehow, some way, Sean Payton ends up being the Cowboys coach.
If Sean Payton is on the market,
that's a whole other story.
That's a whole new ballgame because then it's like, yes, Mike's done a decent job.
I feel like Sean Payton's going to be on the market.
I think he is too.
Did y'all see him on the herd? He was saying how that Bucs Saints game, he was itching to be out
he's
there.
already said that he's gonna coach again.
Yeah.
He's just taking a break.
Yeah,
like he's coming back.
He is the primetime Cowboys head coach candidate.
Yeah, no doubt.
I just see for some reason like y'all go 8 and 9, 9 and 8, not making the playoffs, gives Jerry an excuse to fire him and go after Sean Payton.
If Sean Payton's available,
then at that point,
yes.
it depends on the landscape of what you have available to go
100%.
replace him.
Yeah, if
you feel like if Sean's there, then
very
gone.
true.
If you're only looking at coordinators, then
if you're looking at coordinators or some college coach on the up and coming.
I mean, I think you make Kellen Moore the head ball coach.
Hell no.
Get Dan Quinn.
Kellen Moore is the perfect example of a guy that's suited to be an OC and not a head coach.
I mean,
we said that about Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, is he the next Mike McDaniel?
But I don't think that Kellen Moore's proven that with his offensive play calling.
Did a hell of a job last night and the week before.
A good job. I mean, Kellen Moore's overall done a pretty damn good job. He's had his bad games, but like overall, I mean that's the thing. Like if you do anything involved with the Cowboys, your weaknesses and your bad like performances are highlighted big time.
Yeah.
Like Kellen Moore could have a bad week of play calling this week, and everyone's gonna call him a terrible OC.
Yep.
When even though the last 2 weeks he's been a great offensive play caller.
Yeah.
So
Great
like,
job.
I don't know. I don't want him leading bunch of men in a war.
Yeah.
Bad news.
That's a Mike job.
Yeah.
Smash
That's big
a
Mike.
watermelon. Yeah.
All right. Well, that finishes up coaching hot seat. Next up, we got a fantasy would you rather. This is for the rest. These are the rest of the year. Which guys would you have?
I like this segment.
All right. First two up. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Just because of the passing ability. Like he catches so many passes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you
you
said, I mean, he still starts every game.
Yeah, he gets more work.
Dillon.
Yeah.
We know how good Aaron Jones is.
Yeah, well, and I think Dillon, there's more of a game script, too, to where it's like, yes, if you're playing a shitty team, Dillon's the play, but Jones is also the play. But it's like, if we're playing a good team, I'd much rather have Aaron Jones because it's going to be a tight game. He's going to get me in on third downs.
Well, and we know that Rodgers has that chemistry with Aaron Jones as well, too.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think Aaron Jones is the answer there.
Yeah.
Najee Harris and Alvin Kamara.
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Damn.
I'm gonna say Najee.
I'm gonna take Najee too.
I know he's getting the touches. He's younger.
I will take Kamara just on the faith that they will get him more involved.
I think that's.
And I know with Kamara, their O line is definitely better than Pittsburgh. Quarterback play is probably the same level, even if Pickens plays, I think
if Pickett plays, the quarterback plays better.
Oh, I think so.
They're very similar kind of
we haven't
constructed
seen
rosters.
Yeah.
The thing is, I know
the
Najee.
touches. Yeah, I know the touches are there with Najee.
With Kamara, it's like if Jameis is a starter for the entire year, that does worry me with Kamara.
But my thing, I don't know.
And the other thing is Najee has he's not worried about Mark Ingram vulturing touchdowns.
Jalen Warren's a good ball player.
Jalen Warren's look good.
Yeah,
I know he's not going to take
Najee
shit
still
from
scored
Najee.
2 touchdowns this season. He's the red zone guy. He's the short yardage guy. He's the early down guy. He's the third down guy. He's everything. So
I'll take Kamara strictly on that. Carmichael will figure out how to use him in the game plan.
But all your faith on Pete?
I got to stick with my guns here with Pete, I guess.
16 years at OC, man.
Yeah, there's obviously
no.
problems.
I bet he's had a head coaching interview. I bet he has.
Probably one or two.
Yeah, maybe
and they probably came out of there and be like, "Ooh,
yeah.
not hiring that guy."
Not that guy.
And then
Yeah,
the league
next.
figured out, and they're
Yeah.
like, all right, this guy's not getting another interview.
And we're back. Next up, we got our personal favorite segment of the week.
Yeah, baby.
We got betting for week 4. Luke,
All right.
go over what our records are and how we did in week 3.
All right, week 3, Brophy again coming in hot with 10-5-1.
Brophy's on fire!
We all tied with Texans +3.
Brophy's as hot as that cig he just
He
lit
is,
a fifth
man. He
down
is
the
scolding.
fucking.
Come on, baby.
He's lighting
Listen to me,
people's- He's lighting bookies on fire right
You
now.
lit that thing on fire. Yeah, I'm glad you're not on my fucking book.
Yeah, you were
Good
torching
Lord.
right now.
We need to start
Brophy
betting.
finished last week.
Hey, we'll let you on the book if you want to hop on the books, man.
I don't know. You want him on your book?
Actually,
man?
yeah,
I don't know about that.
He's due to lose though.
That's right.
Regression's
He's due.
setting in.
All right, Brophy 10-5-1 kept his record strong. I came in at second and 9-6-1. Cole 8-7-1. All 3 of us with the winning
All 3
week.
winning. That's
How
right.
about that?
That's right.
Big E kind of shit the bed 6-9-1.
Come on,
Kind
E.
of for Big E's betting. That's kind of typical. But that puts our totals for the 3 of us. I am now 21-26-1, 5 games back of 500. Cole is now 19-28-1. 9 games back of 500.
All right.
And Brophy is 28-19-1, 9 games up from 500. How about that? Man's rolling.
So if y'all want to make money, bet Brophy picks.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
3
also,
on the locks.
Brophy's locks, the last 3 weeks have all hit. You're what, 1-2 on locks?
Yeah.
I'm 0-2-1 on locks. So especially if you're betting locks, bet the guy with the glasses.
Bet Hollywood.
All right.
All right.
Let's get into week 4.
Alrighty.
You're going down, baby. Let's go.
Let me refresh.
Hey, I feel a really good week here, bro, in week 4.
I'm not a big fan of
We've
these
got our
lines.
feet under us now. The first
I do
The
love
first
my
few
lock
weeks are
this
always
week.
harder to bet. I haven't even picked my lock.
I love
yet,
my lock
actually.
I got my lock.
Fuck, I'll have to think about this one, actually.
All right. First up to Thursday night. The Dolphins head to Cincinnati. Bengals minus the 4.
4?
4.
Oh, I thought it was 3.5.
That's a lot of points to
It moved
eat.
to 4 on here.
4 points?
4 points, and I'm taking the Bengals. It was at 3.5 or 4. I mean,
Wow, that is so many points.
I'll take the Bengals.
I want to pick Cincy because everything's pointing towards Cincy.
I know.
But 4's tough, though, man.
That's a lot.
Actually,
know.
let me look into it. Maybe we can get a 3.5.
What are you thinking?
I thought it was 3.
I thought it was. I have it at 3.5 when I looked at.
If
I
it
looked
was
at. I looked at your
3
website earlier today.
Okay, wait, no, hold up. Actually, no, it is at 3.5. 3.5.
Still,
They
not-
still got to
still
win
not
by
that
more
much
than
better,
a field
yeah.
goal.
I'll take him at 3.5.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go fish at plus 3.5. I know, like I want to pick the Bengals,
It
and I
all
know
points
all the sharps
towards-
are on the Bengals. The Miami Heat played 90 plays last week.
I just think short week, and they just played
I'm
90
going
plays.
Bengals. They're whipping out those new white unis Thursday night at home.
It's a good Jersey game.
Yeah. Jamar's going for 40 fantasy points this week. I'm going Bengals minus the 3.5. Cole, you sticking on fish?
I don't know because I feel like every week on the Thursday night game I go against y'all and I always lose.
I lost last week. We'll revisit it at the end.
Yeah,
but before we confirm,
Okay,
before your like
okay.
switches or yeah.
All right, next up, the Vikings and Saints play in London. Vikings minus 2.5.
I'm going Vikings minus 2.5.
I'm taking the Saints plus the 2.5. Weird shit happens.
I'm taking the Saints also.
I think that's the sharp play.
Sharps like the Vikings.
Well, fuck them. Never mind.
Actually, Sharps like the Saints according to this.
What?
That's right.
Sharps 9 moves in the Saints.
All right, I'm taking the Saints. I switched my answer.
What?
Earlier today, it said they were all in the Vikings.
All right, so we're all going Saints +2?
Plus 2.5.
2.5.
2.5, yeah. All right.
All right, next up, Bills travel to Baltimore. The Bills are -3.5.
I'm going Baltimore plus 3.5.
As am I.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens plus the 3.5. They got too many injuries on defense. Although, God, Buffalo's so damn good. But, I mean, Baltimore's at home. Lamar's balling. Defense is banged up. Bills just played a ridiculous game. I mean,
it's a field. They get over a field goal.
You get over a field goal at home. Yeah, got to go Ravens. All right.
All right, next up, the Jags head to Philly. Jags plus 6.5.
Just too many points. I'm taking Jags plus 6.5.
I'm going to go Philly -6.5.
All right.
I went against them last week. I've gone against them every week. I'm going to pick them this week.
I just think that's too many points. I think Jacksonville's just good. What are we doing?
I'm going to take Philly.
Okay.
I feel like their defense is going to give them something that the Jags haven't faced yet.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we got Cleveland -1.5 in Atlanta.
This one's tough.
I'm going to go – what did I have here? I'm going to go Cleveland -1.5.
It's in Atlanta, right?
In Atlanta.
Atlanta's – jeez.
Give me the Falcons again. They did me right last week. Give me the Falcons.
I mean, it's pretty much a pick 'em at this point, and I like the Browns better as a team.
I do too. I have a funny feeling.
What are the sharps on for that one?
They are on the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm still going Cleveland.
I'm going to come back to that one. I don't know. I'm going to think on that one.
These ones are kind of tough.
I don't know. That one's
They're always tough.
I'm leaning Browns. I just think they're better.
Yeah,
although, is Garrett going to play?
TBD. They said TBD with the shoulder sprain from that car accident. Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you see that accident?
I didn't see the video of it.
Dude, he
no.
fucking flipped his car. He swerved out of the road because there was an animal on the road. He swerved out of the road on a wet road and flipped.
You got to run over that animal.
Oh, yeah. That's just textbook.
That's driver ed 101.
Hit that thing.
Yeah.
Hit the brakes and hit it.
Yep.
All right, I'm coming back to that one.
All right. Next up, Seahawks travel to Detroit. Seahawks plus 4.5.
This one's kind of tough to me, honestly.
I'm going to probably go Lions.
They're on Seattle, right?
The Sharps?
Yeah.
They are on Seattle, yes.
I'm going to go Seattle plus 4.5. I think Seattle keeps it close.
At 4.5, I'm going to take Seattle.
Oh, my God.
I picked a lot of dogs this week.
I'm going Lions.
I also think last week that road dogs were 7-1 against the spread. Just putting that out there.
They're due.
All right.
I'm going Lions.
Next up, Tennessee travels to Indy. Indy's -3.5.
Give me Tennessee plus 3.5.
Give me Titans plus 3.5, and that is my lock.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's just too many points.
Both those teams really can't score.
I mean, and the Colts are coming off probably the
high.
biggest win they're gonna have this season.
Yeah.
I'm going Titans.
Next up, Chargers head to Houston. Chargers are -5.
I'm taking the Chargers. I think they bounce.
Give me Chargers -5 as well.
Give me the Texans plus 5.
Going the Zans?
Going with the Zans.
All right.
I don't know what my log's going to be here.
I like my lock.
I have a few more, so. All right, next up, the Commanders, my bad. Commanders head to Dallas. Commanders are plus 3.5.
Give me Commanders at plus 3.5.
Give me the boys -3.5.
What are the sharps on?
Our pass rush should eat.
They have no sharp picks right now.
They have none.
I'm going boys. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball.
All right, next up, Jets plus 3.5 in Pittsburgh. Give me the Jets.
You going Jets?
I'm picking a lot of dogs. Holy Christ.
Jets too. I'm picking a ton of dogs.
So you're both on Jets?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Jets may win that game.
I'm coming back to that one too. I don't know. These are stumping me.
Bears head to New York plus 3.5. Play the Giants.
I'm going Bears.
I'm going Bears too.
Give me the Bears.
It's like 3.5, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lot of road dogs here.
God, all right, hold on. Brophy, you have picked 3 dogs three favorites and 8 dogs.
Jesus.
What have I picked?
You have picked same 3 and 8. I have 2 omissions, and I am 4 and 5.
All right. We still need 2 locks from you boys.
I know what mine is.
Cardinals plus 1.5 in Carolina.
Cardinals plus the 1.5.
Give me-
That would be my second lock.
I was thinking about that as being my lock. I'm not going to pick that yet, but give me Cardinals.
Give me the Panthers.
Really?
The Cardinals should be favored in this game.
Yeah, I do too. I can't. Why are you going Panthers?
Their defense has been playing good. I'm going to take them. I mean, the Cardinals' offense hasn't looked great.
I'm betting on Kyler Magic for this one.
Yeah. Is J.J. Watt playing?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
All right, next up. Oh, I know what your lock is. Patriots in Green Bay. Patriots plus 10.
I'm taking Packers minus 10, and that's my lock. I think they're gonna. It's in Green Bay, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna. It's Brian Hoyer. They're gonna roll them.
I kind of want to go Pats.
Give me the Pack.
It's not 10.5. It's 10.
10.
Brian Hoyer's at quarterback. That's like official.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go Packers.
That game's gonna be like. I mean, Patriots have been shredded too.
Yeah.
Their defense is getting torched.
Denver plus 2.5 in Vegas.
Give me Denver plus 2.5. That one might be my lock.
I'm taking Raiders minus 2.5.
So am I.
I think they're desperate at home. Broncos have been shit. Cole's that your lock?
No, but give me Denver.
And Brophy, you're on Raiders minus 2.5.
Yep.
I don't think they're starting 0-4.
Yeah, I just have a hard time believing that. Chiefs minus 2 in Tampa.
Chiefs minus 2.
Give me the Bucs plus the 2.
I just don't know who's playing for the Bucs.
Well, Mike's back.
Mike's back for sure.
Godwin's
probably
out.
not. I think Julio's probably out too, right?
You never know.
Yeah, give me Chiefs minus 2.
Yeah, I'm taking Chiefs. Brophy, you're on the Bucs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chiefs bounce back after last week.
Yeah, it's only 2 points.
Yeah.
Rams in the last game of the week. Rams plus 2.5 in Monday night in San Francisco.
Give me Rams plus 2.5.
Give me the Niners minus 2.5.
I think I'm going Niners too. Niners minus 2.5.
Yep. All right. What games do you need to look at again?
I don't think I picked the first one yet.
I have you down at Fish.
Put me on Bengals. I'm switching it.
Okay. Bengals minus. We're all on that one. What's your lock, Cole?
I'm either thinking the Rams or the Chiefs. Or the Chargers. I feel like the Chargers might steamroll Houston.
I could see him steamrolling Houston. They need a good win. They need to get it right game. I'm going to go Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons plus the 1.5. I think Garrett's going to be out.
And then what's the other game you need?
Pittsburgh and Jets. Oh, jeez.
Ah, jeez.
What is the website? Action Network, right?
Yep.
Who's the money on Jets Pittsburgh?
I can tell you in just a moment. It is money's on the Jets.
Zach Wilson gonna play?
That's what they're saying.
TJ Watt's out.
I believe so. He's definitely out.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jets +3
I thought it was 3.5.
or 3.5. Yeah.
The money is also juiced to the Jets +3.5.
Well, I'm still looking at my lock here.
Hey, last time the Jets played the Steelers in 2019, Jets won.
At Heinz Field?
It was in Jersey.
You sure you going with Bengals, Cole?
Yeah.
All right, so we're all on Bengals for Thursday.
How have our records been when we're all three on the same side?
I know in week 2 they were bad.
What about this last week?
This last week, we were all on the Lions. Between the three of us and Big E?
No, not Big E. The three of us.
The three of us, we were all three on the Colts. That hit. We were all three on the Lions. That hit. We were all on the Saints. That did not.
This is Chargers -4.5.
I'll take that.
Yeah, sure.
Brophy, you still want Zans?
Yeah, fuck. 4.5 if you question it.
Yeah. Give me Chargers -4.5 as my lock.
Okay.
Fuck. Give me the Chargers -4.5.
Ah, you bitch.
I don't know. 5 seemed like it was okay, but 4.5 just seems like too much. Or not enough.
All right. Do we got them all sorted?
Yep, all in. All right, well, it's okay. So last week, the ones that all three of us were on, 2, 3-1, 3, 4, 3 and 5, 3-1, 6, 3-1. All three of us were on.
Okay.
How many are all three of us on this week?
We were
So
on,
we were all,
so far.
So we were all on 10 last week.
Yep.
yeah, we were all on 10. This week we're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.
Okay.
All right, so half the games.
So half the games we're all on.
It's open field.
That's right.
All right. And let's wrap things up as we always do with a little daily fantasy preview. Some of our value plays this year or this week. Let's get on
All
the
right,
apps.
so we're locked in. We get one switch from here on out.
Yeah.
One switch.
Yeah, one switch.
All right.
I'm 1-1 on the switches right now.
I'm 2-0 on the switches.
I'm 1-1. Ugh. All right.
I need to take a peek at DraftKings here.
Yeah, I'm taking a look
I
at it
do
right
too.
now.
All right, DFS.
DFS, baby. All right. You can get Dak for 6,400.
Not bad.
Goff against Seattle, 5,900.
Let's check some running backs here. Well, okay, Jamal Williams, if Swift is out,
I think he's probably out.
That's
Yeah.
6,100.
Brissett against Atlanta, 5,500.
I kind of like Geno Smith against Detroit at 5,400.
I
feel
like
like
that.
game's going to be a
Yeah, I
shootout
like
right
that.
there. And for that value, I mean, you're getting them for next to
I like
nothing.
Jamal Williams at 61. I think that's a great play.
Let's dive a little deeper.
Yeah, who we got for value here?
I mean, if
Running
Montgomery's
backs
out,
are-
Herbert,
Hey,
5,700.
Yeah.
Rex Burkhead for 4,900. I think they could be
It's not
down
bad.
by multiple touchdowns in that game. They're gonna, if they pass, he's gonna get a lot of catches.
I think
I mean, he's near the
Najee. I think
bottom.
Najee for 6,700. I mean, they're playing the Jets. Game script should be good. I mean, Jets aren't scaring anyone. I think for a top tier.
Ramondre, I like Ramondre Stevenson at 5,200. He's another guy I think that could catch a lot of passes.
Okay.
Nothing that really blows you away running backs wise.
I mean,
No, not
obviously, if
really.
Montgomery's out,
I
Khalil
like
Herbert
Amari. I like
would be a
Amari
lock.
Cooper against Atlanta, 6,300.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, Jamal. If Swift's out, that's a must play against Seattle.
I mean, Deontay's at 6,000.
Lockett at
against the
5,900
Jets.
against
Yeah.
Detroit.
I mean, Curtis Samuel against Dallas, 5,700. That pass rush should be getting to him, probably dumping it down a lot.
They got Devontae Smith against Jacksonville.
Yeah,
5,800.
Chris Olave, 5,500.
Tight ends.
Judy, 5,500 against Vegas.
I mean, Njoku for 3,700 after what he did last week against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Or even Conklin. I mean, that guy's the third best tight end right now in fantasy.
What?
Yeah, Tyler Conklin's the third.
He's the number 3 tight end?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Let me see this.
If Gallup comes back against Washington,
Pittsburgh-
5,100.
God, he
Pittsburgh's
is.
27th against tight ends.
God, Conklin's had 7, 9, and 8 targets.
Yeah.
Oh, but Flacco's been footsteps.
But
Flacco's
then
been
again,
dumping
if
it to him.
Flacco's not, if it's
Footsteps.
if it's Zach Wilson playing, then he may not feed him.
I mean, Richie James, whatever the balls he's at, I'm sure he's stupid cheap.
How far down is he? He's at 4,000
I mean,
against
he's
the Bears.
against the
Yeah.
Bears, he's going to be the number 1.
It's
I mean,
not
we
a
don't
bad
know
play.
if Tony's going to play.
Probably not. Piece of shit. He's never fucking healthy. Let's see, tight end wise. I mean, Hawkinson against Seattle.
I kind of like
4,100.
Elijah Moore at 4,800 with Zach Wilson back in the fold.
Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson's been the guy.
What's
I mean,
Garrett
that's awesome.
Wilson? Garrett Wilson's
Garrett-
5,400. I mean, you can
Yeah.
get Chris Olave for 55.
Especially if-
Romeo Dubs 4,500 against New England. I mean, if they're going to be up, they're probably going to want to feed him and get him work.
Yeah. I like Mike Evans, 5,700. I mean,
Yeah.
Kansas City, it's going to be a high score.
And they'll probably be the only one there of their big
I
three
feel like that
receiving
one may
group.
not be a high-scoring game.
I feel like the Chiefs will still score.
All of the Pats or the Bucs games have been low-scoring so far.
I mean, they're going to pound it with Fournette.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to be their plan in that
I
game.
feel like they're going to feed Mike Evans because they have no one else to throw to, and Chiefs
got the
corners
sauce,
aren't
baby.
scaring anyone.
Sauce is back. Haven't you heard?
Sauce?
Sauce.
I think
loose.
Jamar Chase is going nuts this week. I think short week, defense is tired.
Is Xavier Howard going to be locked up on him?
I don't think so. I don't think he
Is
travels.
he a shadow guy?
I don't think he travels.
Or it's Byron Jones. I mean,
Yeah.
Is Byron Jones, is he healthy?
good question. I assumed he was. Haven't heard that he's hurt.
idea.
But
All
all
right.
right,
Is
is that? I think
we're
that's.
good?
I think that's it.
We got a nice
All right.
2 hours, 43 minutes.
All right, I think we'll. Yeah, we'll see you next Monday with a nice little Monday Night
Yeah.
Football watch. We're gonna start doing these on
Hell
Mondays
yeah.
now.
Yes, sir.
Be a
Yeah.
good game to watch.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, we get
yeah,
bars sewed on right there.
Hell yeah.
yes, sir.
Kind of cool.
All right, go ahead, like and subscribe. See us on YouTube. We're on podcast, just about anywhere, right?
Just about anywhere, yeah.
Just about anywhere. Are we
Hell
still on
yeah.
Apple
We're
yet?
going global.
No, we're not on Apple yet.
Not an Apple. Anywhere besides
Spotify.
Apple. Yeah, Spotify.
Spotify, RSS, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all those.
Yeah, like and
Yep.
subscribe. Give us a
Hell
follow.
Yeah, punch the air.
We'd love to see your comments too. So yeah, punch the air.
All right. Go, boys.